citizens, welcome to a very special episode of the Pow Bang Podcast on the Perch Network. I'm your host, Peyton, aka Battle Protector, and I am here with my other half, the other host of this operation, the evil, the sinister, the maniacal.
Greetings. Dr. Shadow is my name. Pleased to meet you.
All right. So, Alan, do you know why we're excited about this episode?
Well, Captain Panel, there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many things. Invincible, perhaps.
It's going to be a very super podcast because we're going to be talking about Robert Kirkman's, Cory Walker's, and Ryan Ottley show based on that comic called Invincible, which is one of the coolest comics, and this is one of the best shows based off a comic, and we are so excited to talk about it. I've been yammering Alan's ear off about it for months now, and I haven't read. Yeah, I am 15 out of 25 of the trade paperbacks in because I've been slowly reading over the past few years. But even then, I love this show. I love this comic, and this show in particular is absolutely amazing. And I am so excited to talk about it. And Alan, you actually read all the comics a while back, and then you went back and reread them.
Yep. So I can basically get ready for the TV series.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just simply for me, Invincible was a really, just in general, not just a TV show, but in the comic book, it was a extraordinarily, surprisingly, remarkable experience for me. Because I told you that story before, I end up, reading the Invincible comic book series by accident. Totally by accident, and since the very first volume, I was really into the story, not just simply the overall world, but, and the characters, but the overall, every single, story part. It doesn't matter if it's, dark or serious or emotional, every single thing that Robert Kirkman and the crew did was simply fantastic, and without giving any spoilers away.
Well, we're gonna be getting into spoilers, in a little bit, but just to talk about it in general.
Yeah, okay, well, this is way beyond spoiler, the overall ending. The official Invincible ending. I'm not going to say what it is, how we're going to get there, even though I will say it is a really hardcore travel all the way to there. But it is, for me personally, it has one of the most beautiful, well-written, well-deserved endings, happy endings I've ever seen, And, even though we have a long way until that, but I'm still excited to see, how they're going to handle that part, without giving any spoilers away, But you and I can agree that the journey towards that happy ending is going to be hardcore.
It is rough. It is really rough. But overall, I have to say about the story in general, even though it is very violent, very graphic, it is a very optimistic in a way where to stuff like The Boys and whatnot, I've only seen maybe an episode or two of the boys, but just this has more of a very optimistic, and um it's realistic to the fact where we start, like when we're younger, we start to have more of a optimistic feel about things. But once we get older, it becomes a little more just realistic, it comes darker, it comes more complicated. And this is what Invincible is. It's something that just just grows as you read with it, and that's what I love about it. Like you get to grow with Mark Grayson and all of his friends, um all of the other characters and whatnot, and just see where they become.
Yeah, I mean, like even though like the violence, the boys and Invincible, they share the violence level, they share it, but with the difference, but like you said, the difference between Invincible and the boys is that the Invincible still holds on to the superhero elements, in their own, like, not simply story, but in world building. While when it comes to the boys, they are more realistic in a way. They're kind of more realistic and more. I really don't have quite the word to describe it, but like I said, even though they share the violence, like there's a real big difference between Invincible and the boys. And the one thing also I love about Invincible, and you said, Invincible, it is very violent. Like it is extremely violent.
Probably the most violence I have ever seen in anything. Like if you like, I'm usually one to have like a very like I have horrible gag reflexes and whatnot. Like my stomach is not strong. So, but seeing this, it's honestly just very entertaining in a way. I don't know why, but just the violence in it, even though it's horrific, very entertaining.
I agree. I actually agree with you because, like I said before, like the violence in Invincible, it is earned. But when it comes to unlike the boys, where basically it just simply thrown at you, just simply to be violent. I mean, like there's all sorts of things that can go deeper into the boys, but now like the main event is Invincible. The main event is Invincible, and I'm gonna say right away, right now, right here, what we got in season 1 was like mind-blowingly amazing. It was just simply purely wonderful, and the way how they adapted the storylines, the world building, the characters, like of course the violence, and the way how they were building up to it. We will get there, you and I, we will get to that, how they build up to the violence. But for what we got, like from beginning, from A to Z in season 1, like it was an astonishingly wonderful, mind-blowingly first step into what I believe into one of the biggest, amazing superhero TV shows ever made.
Not just one of the best superhero TV shows. It could potentially be one of the best superhero franchises. I hope.
That as well.
Because, like, for me talking about it, like, I just have to say, like Alan, I was so just happy with this. Like I haven't been excited for a project, for any type of superhero project or any type of anything since Avengers Endgame. Like I was really excited for the to see it, just the action. At first, I was saw the first, I like Patience like, wait, this isn't what I pictured. I'm like, more I saw second trailer, then I just got reading to more of it, and I'm telling you, and then after watching it, it was just beautiful from the first episode. By the way, we got 3 episodes in the same day.
Oh,
so
yeah.
thank you, Kirkman. Thank you, Kirkman, Amazon, and Skybound for that. Jeez, like it was amazing, and I literally just went through all of them, and it just I'm telling you, the characters, like you have to love the characters, and probably one of the best things about this that like literally they have a star-studded cast. I'm telling you, like big name stars. Like you have Stephen Yeun from the Walking Dead. He's literally a triple threat. Like literally, he is associated with literally he's a Walking Dead star. He's an animation star, and he's an Academy nominated actor. Like, and you have a lot of these in there. Like you got J.K. Simmons, and then you have like you literally have Walking Dead alumni. You have big name actors like Mark Hamill and whatnot. John Hamm is literally a supporting character, and he wanted to do it. And then you have like some big name. Well, they're not. If you know animation, you know like Michael Richardson, Gray Delisle, like Clancy Brown, all of these great names. I'm telling you, just the fact that Kirkman got them all and the team, it's so amazing.
Oh my! And also, I mean, come on, the second Mr. Spock voicing robot.
Oh man, I was so happy when we got Zachary Quinto. I'm like, wow, I was literally like, I hope he voices robot. I hope he voices robot. And I'm telling you, all these characters that we got. Oh, I know. All these characters that we'll get. And I imagine that Kirkman has some major. By the way, I don't know if anybody heard of this, but we're getting a season 2 and a season 3. So essentially,
not one, not just one. We're getting 2 seasons, motherfucker. Yes.
I am just like so astounded. I mean, I'll have to wait another year, but I mean, if it's to watch it, I mean, I am so excited. Like,
oh my,
literally.
I agree with you. I agree with you, man. Like, but also, can I just simply talk a little bit more about the violence in Invincible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I was watching some of the interviews that Robert Kirkman did when he was promoting not the premiere of Invincible, but the first official trailer of Invincible, and he was talking to, by the way, one of the main guys when it comes to superhero YouTubers. He was basically talking to a guy, and basically was trying to explain the meaning behind the violence, and he basically said that he didn't put the violence in it just to be in it, just to be violent. He wanted that this world where Invincible is in it, and all the superheroes and supervillains, he wanted them to have actual casualties. They wanted them to have actual damage, and like realistic damage.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, a little bit. Take, for example, the fight between in Man of Steel versus Superman and Zod. that was one apocalyptic shit they went through. Like, all that Metropolis, like the damage they did.
But you didn't see a single ounce of blood on them.
Exactly. We didn't see we saw zero blood during that fight. And
yeah, again, it's PG-13, but still.
But still, like I said, the collateral damage is all there, just like in Invincible. But the blood wasn't. And in Invincible, well, let's just say prepare for a sea of blood.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it makes it a lot more impactful.
Oh my God, yeah. And what I was trying to say is that in Robert Kirkman's Invincible, the violence is earned. The violence is there in a very realistic way.
Yeah.
And even though no matter how gory it is, like it's one of the most realistic battles and like head crushing and like slicing people in half. Like, Invincible has one of the most realistic violence we will ever get in superhero universe. Ever.
I know. It's just like, it's all just, if I were to put one word into how much like love for this series and comic, wow. Just, that is my word. Wow.
And also one of the positive things, which I believe even you will agree on that, is that every single character was handled perfectly.
Oh, I know.
Perfectly. I would even say this, even the changes they did from the comic books, even the changes they did, I was on board. How about you?
Oh, for sure. I'm telling, like, the thing is, this was made in 2003 and it is 2021 now, literally almost 20 years. Mm-hmm. So to see like a lot of modern changes and whatnot, like characters, ethnicities, or cell phones, even though cell phones don't play like a huge role in it, it still is like very nice to see. And it doesn't do like completely much, but it is a nice little change of pace.
For me, I don't know if you noticed this, but Amber is one of the most biggest changes they did.
Yeah, not just her race, but just her character, her personality, very modern.
And very also, okay. I will say this, and I'm hoping comic book Invincible fans will not destroy me for this, but I prefer this Amber than the one in the comic books.
Me too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amber was very supportive and she was sweet and whatnot, but literally we've seen that type of character trope before.
Yeah. In this one, she's more stronger, more tougher.
Yeah.
And I really love that, and I really love the relationship that Mark and her had in the TV series, because face it, in the comic books, she was very pessimistic like.
Yeah, pretty much.
In this one, I was like, wow, like this version of her is way better. Yeah. And we have to fucking applaud Zazie Beetz. Her voice as Amber was like outstanding. Like she was great.
Oh, I know. Speaking of characters, would you like to dive into each and every one of them, or at least the ones that really impacted the show?
Oh, let's make a deal, okay? Let's make a deal. I want to save Omni-Man and Invincible for last.
All right, fair enough.
So how about we start with the Guardians of the Globe? The easiest characters of all.
All right, let's go through them. Red Rush, he runs. War Woman, basically like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Aquarius, Fishman.
AKA Aquaman.
Yeah. Green Ghost. Green Lantern, but she has a piece of candy that turns her into a ghost. I don't even know how that works.
Green, okay. First and foremost, can we just simply acknowledge the elephant in the room? First and foremost, Green Ghost in the comic books was a man.
Yeah, the same thing with Darkwing. They changed his race, so
gender, actually. Well, I mean, but anyway, like even though that's not the point, I'm just want to point out that detail.
Yeah.
But anyway, but Green Ghost for me, she was always like a mixture of green. Well, not Green Lantern. She was more like Martian Manhunter.
Yeah. Well, kind of like. Well, they do have a Martian Manhunter though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah.
Literally right. Martian Man. Like literally. Like some of these characters are just like two-dimensional versions of the Justice League.
Yeah, I mean,
other than the Immortal.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Here's the thing. Let's go from the beginning. Red Rush is basically the parody of the Flash.
Yeah.
Then we have War Woman, which is basically a parody of Wonder Woman. Then,
I mean, what if? Oh, by the way, I just wanted to put a warning out there, but you probably knew that already. Spoilers.
Yeah, right. Spoilers. Okay, so let me put it this way. Okay, so Aquarius is basically Aquaman. Only difference is he's a fishman.
Yeah.
And okay, Green Ghost. Well, let's just say that she was like the Green Lantern of the team. Let's put it like that, in a way.
Yeah.
Then of course we have, I always forgot his name. It's like just the Martian, right?
Martian Man.
Right. Martian Man. Okay. And without any saying, Martian Manhunter, basically. Okay. Then we go to Darkwing, who is basically the Invincible's version of Batman. Basically.
He has a sidekick later in the show. Yeah. Or in the comic. My bad.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we just have to be, even though we know the entire story, we just want to keep our mouth shut, for anyone who didn't watch the show, who didn't read the comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just going to stick to the season 1, element, Yeah. Because, but anyway, Darkwing is Batman, and the Immortal is basically Superman and Vandal Savage in one.
Yeah, but also I got a comparison. I saw a comparison, like kind of like a Jack Kirby type character.
So basically, in the first episode, alongside the Mauler twins, who, by the way, Mauler twins, just like in the comic books, such really amazing side villain characters.
Oh, I know. It's funny too. None of them can differentiate which one is the real clone.
Oh my god! First and foremost, I love their costumes. Like from the front is M, and on the back is T. Like Mauler twins. Like I love that little detail. But also, come on, the scene where they break out of prison and he's like, Say it. Like while he was eating his pie, I was like, oh my god, like that was so hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. And you probably would pick this up. Can I say basically throughout the comics, one Mauler dies, and then
that's a tradition.
Yeah, one Mauler dies, and then they'll just clone a new one. You saw that in the show, but it basically happens throughout.
It happens. I mean, like trust me, I will tell you this: the Molar twin dying. I'm just talking to the audience. Trust me, what you have seen in season 1, it's only a taste of what's gonna happen next in the future. Because trust me, it will not be the end of the rebirth of the Molar twins. Trust me, it's not gonna end here.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We got Guardians of the Globe, Mauler twins.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
What?
Whoa. We'll get on to other characters. Besides, we honestly, we don't have a big number of them. Honestly.
True. Well, it is a huge cast.
Yeah, but I will tell you this. Okay. I just want to bring up your predictions you had before the premiere came out. Okay. So, since it's already, like we already said, we're in the spoiler territory. We're in the spoiler territory. Like, there's no going back. Okay. So here's the thing I have for you. Since the first season had 8 episodes. We all know that.
Yeah.
When exactly did you have in mind for the Guardians of the Globe being?
Probably episode 2 or 3. I had no idea it would be that early.
That's the one thing, because honestly, and like I was like literally like gassing 50-50. Like I had a feeling they will die. Like you said, either in episode 2 or 3. No, actually, you and I talked about it. We even thought it will die in episode 8. Remember?
Oh yeah.
You and I thought, like, seriously, because we thought, like, how much they're gonna extend the issues, like how much they're gonna extend the comic book storyline, and we're like, What If season 1 probably will end with the Omni-Man killing the Guardians of the Globe, like right in episode 8, and then the premiere comes out, and bang, first episode dead.
That is probably the best thing you can do, because Kirkman said that himself, that he heard that fans that are fans of the comic, they'll be like, well, so like it starts out a little bit slow, but a few issues in, like something big happens. And then he's like, okay, I think it would be the best thing to do if it was episode 1 and kind of be like a wide done it.
Yeah, I agree. No, you're right. You're right about that, because first and foremost, Kirkman said that the Guardians of the Globe was supposed to be like an homage to the Justice League. Because he knew that basically every single one of them were like parodies of like actual existing superheroes. So he knew that their roles will be limited, to when it comes to the overall main story. But here's the thing. What I love the first episode is that how Kirkman was building to the violent part. How he was building, and between you and me, you and I know, in the comic books, their deaths weren't that brutal.
Oh, I know. It was literally like maybe 3 pages. This, even without the violence, was so impactful. Well, I mean, yeah, the violence did have a big part to do with it, but just the fact that it was like, Omni-Man, why are you doing this? And then just like all the bad stuff happened. And it was just, wow.
And I will tell you this. I mean, I congratulate Cecil to figure out like he was Omni-Man, but I will tell you this, Damian Darkblood was actually a way more better detective than he was.
Oh, I know. But Cecil didn't want like Darkblood to know, because like, there'd be like a whole like outbreak and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of crappy that he sent them back to hell.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, I think we will see him again.
Yeah. Well, Darkblood didn't even got sent back to hell in the comics. He was just kind of just hanging out.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't discover the like Omni-Man killed the Guardians till literally right after it happened, till it got to the public and whatnot. And
Yeah. But Dark Blood, he find out about the murder of the Guardians of the Globe and who actually was responsible. Right in the first two episodes after he was introduced.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and by the way, speaking of Dark Blood, what did you think about him as a character?
Honestly, just like in the comic books, he was a really badass demon detective, just like in the comic books. I really like this character.
Yeah, same. But I was watching it. I read the comics a while back, and I'm like, who's this? What's he doing? What's he doing? And then he had a completely different design. He looked more like Hellboy in the show, and he had a completely unique design, which I'm not sure about that. I wasn't sure why they did that, but I mean, still, it was okay, I see what you did there,
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. That's something also I noticed because, believe me, I didn't figure out it was Dark Blood right from the get-go. I didn't get it was Dark Blood because just like you, I was deceived because you and I both know how Dark Blood looked like in the comic books. How he looked like.
Yeah.
So the way how the way how they redesigned him was even for me a big surprise. But then later on, as he went on investigating, I was like, oh, that's Dark Blood. Oh my god, he looks different.
Yeah, he does. He does.
But still, I didn't mind. I didn't mind at all.
No. But speaking of the investigation, what you think of Cecil and Donald?
Honestly, I will tell you, I'm gonna jump back and forward every time.
Yeah.
Honestly, Cecil, Cecil for me, I'm gonna try to connect with the comic books now because Cecil, as a character, I both hate him and love him.
Exactly. He's very complicated. He's very scummy, but at the same time, he has a reason for doing what he does.
Yeah, he's a very what's the word? He's a very neutral character.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not good, but he's not bad.
He does his things he plays. It's like he plays a game of chess. He waits for the right moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. So even though let's say for all these 8 episodes, the world, for example, one of the parts that I hated Cecil was, of course, and of course I knew that from the comics. I knew that, but I hate him because he employed D.A. Sinclair.
Exactly. By the way, I didn't even know they would do that that early in the series.
Yeah, because that actually happens later, not early on. So but even though it happened later on in the comics, the way how they brought this storyline, early on in the TV show, I will tell you this: it was really natural. It was really well written and naturally done. And even the way how they introduced D.A. Sinclair and his robo zombies that he did, and seriously, D.A. Sinclair is basically Invincible's version of Dr. Frankenstein.
Speaking of D.A. Sinclair, by the way, I just to put my
that, or should I?
I'll go, but first, I kind of have the same thoughts with you when it comes to Cecil. Like literally, literally, you think that you hate him, but then you realize that he kind of has his motives.
Yeah, he has his moments. And I will say this: his assistant,
Donald Ferguson.
Yeah, Donald. I will tell you this: even though it didn't work shit, but I will tell you this: the way he went out was like badass. And
I'm so confused if he's actually dead. I hope he isn't dead.
Dude, Omni-Man grabbed him by the spine, and he blew himself up and literally disintegrated.
There could still be parts. In the comics, he's a cyborg, so.
True. Okay, that part I remember. True. So, I mean, I don't know, like, he blew himself up, but still, like, if they're gonna bring him as a cyborg, like, how they can do that? Like for what? Like, because I don't see any DNA lying around.
I mean, true. I don't know. They could figure it out. I know.
But my favorite part of all the Donald scenes, my favorite part is with the Cthulhu creature. Like, oh my god.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, in the comics, Donald, just the way that I envisioned him, seemed more, more like stone, has kind of a very stone-like personality. Yep. But in this, he seems a lot more human. And just kind of like a scaredy cat. Well, not a scaredy cat, but he's very cautious and whatnot.
And also, you can kind of see that they actually kind of try to transform him this kind of like a comic relief character.
Yeah, kind of.
A little bit.
Pretty much. Yeah, but going back to D.A. Sinclair, I have to say, Ezra Miller has to be in my top 5 favorite voices.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know.
And I will tell you this, man. I will tell you this. I was a little bit scared how Ezra Miller will voice him. I was actually a little bit scared. At the beginning. I was a little bit scared. But after actually hearing his voice, I was like, oh my god, this is D.A. Sinclair.
Oh, I know.
This is D.A. Sinclair from the body language, the personality, the overall madness / genius inside him, the creepiness behind the character, Ezra Miller, the way how he voiced him, Ezra Miller was just simply fantastic, And I will tell you this, just like in the comic books, I love that scene where he's like, it's about progress. It's about progressing. And goodbye his jaw.
Yeah, they literally just punched out his... Mark literally just punched out his jaw. And by the way, I just have to say that even though his character is basically the same as the comics, I have to say, the fact that they brought him to animation just to actually get to see him voiced, because I was kind of split on him in the comics. Now actually seeing him in action, I just have to say I love it a lot better. It just definitely just has more of a bigger picture to it, and honestly, it's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, not just simply through the silhouette appearance, at the beginning of the episode, but also even when he was talking during the class, to the teacher, even that scene alone, progressed his character so much, that you realize, why he's doing what he's doing, even though what he does is monstrous and insane, but, you still have an idea why he does it, and, and I was, okay, not the jaw thing, that we said already, that was pure page for page comic book scene, page for page. But when that's Can you remind me, please, of Mark's friend, the name?
William Clockwell.
Thank you. William, okay. When when William was trying to like get his boyfriend back, like basically to remember who he is, and he's like, we had sex like during that particular part, whatever the fuck they were, and he's like, and D.A. Sinclair's like, whoa, that's a bit personal, is it? I love it. Was dark and just a little bit, but it was so funny. I was like, whoa, that's a bit disturbing. That's a little bit private. That's a bit personal.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, there's just like a lot of like realistic moments like that it just makes it all the while.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I just like if we're moving into different another character, I just want to talk about William and Rick.
Okay. I talked all the way here, so now I'm leaving you to lead.
Yeah, so William is a lot different than he is in the comics.
Yeah.
Well, kind of, but not really. Still has like his still has his mannerisms. Like I love the fact that William just loves when Mark flies him.
I that part where basically, first and foremost, let's give applause to William to discover that Mark is invincible on the very first try.
Yeah, exactly. Like it took it took quite a few issues for him to figure it out. I don't know if he was talking to, I don't know if he saw it on the news or whatnot, or he was talking to Eve, but just the fact that it was like that. And like William in the comics, he's more like the, oh man, I'm the dude, bro, and well, kind of like that. He's just kind of has like a chill out. By the way, I just have to say that even though William hasn't always been the best, Mark is kind of a crappy friend to him.
True. He is in a way kind of a crappy friend to him. I give you that. Also, can we just acknowledge that William in the TV show, he's actually way more open than he is in the comics?
Well, I've actually read when he came out to Mark, and it was literally like 2003 was definitely a different time, and so, well, as it like progressed, like he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm gay. And then so this is this William is like a lot more open and whatnot, a little more flamboyant.
Yeah,
and
like Mark already
that's
knows.
kind of, yeah, I mean, yeah, it does come off as like a stereotypical, gay best friend, but at the same time, William is a little more than that. And just like he's like he'd do anything for you, and he's just that type of friend, kind of like a Harry Osborn type.
Yeah. Also, one of the parts I love of William as well is that when they were like they're like in a parking lot, where the fast food was, and he's like, oh, I finally found the love of my life, and there he goes, boom, sidebar. Like, yeah, the way he said it was funny, boom, like.
And then Mark just doesn't even care.
Like, I mean, okay, look.
Well, he kind of does, but he kind of doesn't.
Look, you have also, come on, like, Mark, since the time when Omni-Man came to him and say, we need to talk, since that time, Mark has been in a shithole. Like,
I mean, true. We're not trying to get too deep into Mark right now because, we need to talk about him at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I just have to say that Andrew Reynolds, like, I love him as the voice of Will.
Yeah. Andrew Reynolds was like really good, really great as William. Like almost every single dialogue, because William, in a way, was also like a comic relief, a little bit like character. But so every single dialogue that came out of his mouth, like, it was really entertaining, but at the same time, like realistically done.
I wish we would see a little bit more of William though.
True.
Which we probably will because he actually rooms with Mark at Upstate University, which it isn't much like too much of a spoiler, but I mean,
yeah.
But like they do like have like a lot of interactions when it comes to them like at the end of their high school days and in college and whatnot.
True.
Oh, by the way, Rick was kind of like a one-off character where you got to see him more later in the run, and he was more of a supporting character. But
yeah, that's true. So like basically, because you have to understand. Well, people have to understand that especially the ones who didn't read comic books, that a lot of the characters that appear in this first season, they're gonna see them a lot later. They're gonna see them a lot because, for example, okay. Let me give you for example, there are a few characters that I wish to mention. Okay, besides Rick, besides William, and the rest. Come on, besides them, okay, characters like Doc Sismic, for example.
By the way, Doc Seismic was amazing.
Yes, he was amazing, and he was also different.
Yeah,
he
was more he was a little bit different because he was more like a maniacal villain. This one, he was more a maniacal villain, but he was also very woke. And
exactly.
It was really funny. He's like, they put you in that sexist outfit? And then he had a minor in like women's studies or something like that.
Yes, but what I love about this, what I love about that scene is that they put in a sexist outfit, and she's like, "I designed this myself," and then he said like this thing, "I had a minor in women's study," like.
There's just a lot of dialogue that is just pitch perfect in this.
Yeah, all the seriously, every dialogue fit for every single character. Every single character had the perfect dialogue. And Doc Seismic, I said Sismic, but anyway, Doc Seismic, first and foremost, I think he's one of my top 10 favorite Invincible villains. And honestly, I really cannot wait to see more of him in the future seasons. I really cannot wait to see more of him because I'm telling you, if there is a mad scientist competition, if there's an evil mad scientist competition all around the world, Doc Seismic would have definitely been one of the nominees. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the fights between him, Mark, and Adam Eve, which of course we'll get to her a little bit later, was amazing. I mean, every single fight, every single battle were just simply amazing. Not to mentioning the fight between what's the alien's name? That came in the second episode.
Oh man, I actually been wanting to talk about him.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's also an introduction to one of the main
Alan the Alien.
Oh no! Whoa! I mean no! I mean the
the Flaxons.
Yes, them. I always forget their names. All right. I was trying to say is even those battles were amazing. Not just face to face, one-offs, but heroes versus armies, and especially one of my favorite ones was always in the second episode against the Flexians. That battle was not just simply genocidal, but it was really beautifully, in a dark, gory way, animated.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really telling you that they're just and the Flaxons, literally it their battles and whatnot. Mark doesn't meet the teen team till they didn't even meet during a Flaxon battle. They met while he was in his pajamas in the comics.
Yes, But even I will tell you, even though that wasn't straight from the comics, I will tell you this: the way how he met the team, especially Adam Eve, was for me still pitch perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And also, the way how they introduced the team, not just simply Adam Eve, but Rex Explode, asshole, Robot, Duplicate, like how they introduced all the rest of them, like it was just simply well done. It was just simply, well done, and like every single voice for those characters for me was beautifully well done. Rex Explode, pitch perfect voice, perfect voice.
I know, and just like in the comics, well, he definitely progresses very slowly.
Well, we saw his progression even all the way to the finale.
Yeah, exactly. Where like he was like he really does care about Eve and whatnot.
Well, yeah, in a asshole sort of way, but still.
Well, yeah, like he literally just said, "Yeah, I'm an asshole," and
Yeah, but also, I mean, come on, like, how can I explain this? He cheated on Adam Eve. Like, seriously, I felt like okay,
with three like duplicates of duplicate.
exactly. Like, I was like, at first, I was like, oh my god, maybe just her. But then when she came to the bathroom, to the where they were showering, when he was showering, I heard like smooching. I heard like kissing. I was like, what the hell is still in there? And I was like, wait a minute. Oh, I was like, oh god, there are other duplicates. Oh
Yeah,
my god! And then of course,
exactly.
they come out.
Yeah.
Oh
What did you think of Duplicate? To me, Duplicate never really made much of an impression because she is kind of a character, but she's very supporting.
True. Even the comic books, she was always like a very supportive character. But honestly, she was a interesting superhero to me. Like she was a very interesting character to me. But for me, the most impressive thing about her was her abilities.
Yeah, exactly. And she does have a. Can I say it?
Yeah.
She does have a twin brother in the comics. There was actually an Easter egg of him
Say it.
In the Mahler's cell.
Yeah, baby.
And yeah, and it
Oh,
leads
baby.
into another What was that organization that you were telling me about earlier?
Oh, you mean
The
one that we I think we're gonna be introduced in season 2 with a very specific Asian villain.
Yeah, the
All right.
Order.
All right. Very simple name, the Order.
Yeah, exactly, and it basically ties into Titan, which I want to go through the rest of the team and the Guardians. If that's okay, then we can talk about it. All right. So we talked about Rex, Duplicate. Let's save Eve for later. Robot.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about Robot as well. Like
Yeah, exactly. And like I'm always curious, like what's like his big motive, because you said himself that well, actually I probably shouldn't say it at all, but just say he has it's more of a motive later.
yeah, because what he has done now, especially all the way until the finale, that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning because I don't want to go deeper into what he does. I mean, of course, the comic book readers like you, me, and the rest, they will know what we talk about, what we think. But because of the people who are not familiar with the comic books, I don't want to say what exactly, but let's just say I'm going to say this: in the future, I'm going to say in the near future, Robot we will find out more about his certain goals, but they will also be very twisted as well.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. And but Robot, like we were talking about with Zachary Quinto.
Oh yeah.
Like we just have to say that, like, just the voice of him, and then later Rudy, played by Ross Marquand. By the way, I didn't even know who Ross Marquand was before this. Like literally, he's from The Walking Dead, and he's like a big name. He is like a big like impressionist voice actor. Like has such good range.
Yeah. True. But I will tell you, but I will say this. I mean, the way how here's the thing. Let's just go talk about when it comes to Robot. Let's just talk about his first part of his official goal, which is basically make a clone body of make a new body for himself.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, I would say this: the way how they how can orchestrate it his goal, what he wanted to do, with like breaking the Moore twins out, taking Greg Explode's like sample, basically, and all the way through the experiment when the body was created, like the way how they orchestrate every single step into Robot's like first goal for me was, again, I'm going to say this word a lot, but not only was natural, but also it was done in a way that even though it was wrong, you still feel in a way kind of sympathetic to why he did what he did. And through later years, I'm not going to say what happens, but things will get, if you can agree with me, dark when it comes to Robot.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I'm not too deep into that, but I did hear specific things, and I've read like a certain point where I know where it could go.
Also, I love that part. Like, he got this body, and he's like, "No, you two go back to jail." And he's like, "Haha, you're joking." And I was like, "Nope,
you're going back to jail."
No, I mean, you complete your end of the bargain. Yes, a deal's a deal, but you go back to jail. Because I only brought your ass out of jail because I needed you for this experiment. Nothing more. Like, now you go back, and it basically, of course, the Moore twins being the Moore twins, they're like, "Screw you, we're not gonna go back to jail."
Yeah, exactly, and it like. And then they literally like went back to jail, but just like an episode later.
Oh yeah, and also speaking of also remember what I told you, there's gonna be something dark about Robot in the future.
Yeah.
Actually, you remember like the truck, how the truck transformed?
Yeah.
Can I say that's basically like a little taste of what's gonna happen next? With him.
Yeah, he does have like a bigger suit in the comics.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I would say this: like, I didn't cry, but I almost cried when he was saying goodbye to his old buddy.
It was very emotional in a way.
Yeah, it was. And even like Molar twins, like even though they were criminals, they were like very careful and understanding while they were doing all these procedures.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you gotta love about the Maulers. They are just so intelligent.
Yeah, even though they always yell at each other, "Who's the original? Who's the original?" Well, that's why I'm the original.
Yeah,
I'm smarter.
Like, you think that they're a bunch of like brutes, but like brute henchmen, but in the reality, they're like biological geniuses. Like they literally like they're experts on biology.
Yep, true. Oh my god. Also, I just want to say for very quick, very quickly, because their roles in this season, as a start, it was perfectly fine. They were adjusted, they were introduced to this world, but the other members of the new Guardians of the Globe organization, Black Samson, Monster Girl, and
Shrinking Ray.
yes, I mean, okay, I think out of all of them, I think we got more of Black Samson and Monster Girl than Ray.
Well, Shrinking Ray was actually even more of just a flat out supporting character than Duplicate. Like literally, well, like Shrinking Ray was gender swapped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, like literally, like I didn't even know his name up until like a few months ago. Like I just always knew him as like that guy with the glasses.
I mean, Shrink Ray is basically a parody of Ant-Man and the Atom.
Yeah.
And even in the comic books, like the character never had like a big role.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say this: the bickering between Rex Splode and Monster Girl at the beginning was priceless.
Flat out of the comics, like that entire audition scene.
Oh my god, man, that dick joke was like really good, and
yeah,
I love that. And I love that when she was talking about her boyfriends, like what she said, like few of them are like in college, and some of them are like sex offenders.
No, she said that like guys that like him, that like her.
Yeah, because you and I know that every time when she transforms, she shrinks. She gets younger.
Yeah, exactly. She, the other Guardians and Adam Eve had had like mini arcs at the back of Invincible comics and whatnot, talking about their backstory and whatnot. And like hers was definitely pretty interesting. Like she said, like I think like her like the mom or grandma of like some guy that she was dating in high school was a witch, and then literally just transformed her into like like kind of like a Hulk like creature, but every time she transforms, she becomes younger.
Yeah, something like that. And also, do you think this will be explored in season 2?
Yeah, I think it will be.
Because even though still Monster Girl, you can kind of say it's like a magical version of the Hulk, in a way. But still, I still think that her backstory in the comic books, I still think like it's actually pretty interesting, to kind of see on the screen, to be explored, because even though it's kind of simple, but at the same time, for me, interesting to see.
Yeah, exactly. And then the final member of the Guardians of the Globe, Black Samson.
Ooh, he was great all the way when all the way when he had no powers, all the way when he got back his powers. Like he was a badass all the way through. And for me personally, like he really proved himself to be the leader.
Yeah, exactly. Like I remember him. I think he's like, I thought he was like some type of like Batman like figure, because he's like really rich, had like a butler, and like just and then like I got to get to know him, like he was an OG Guardian and whatnot, and
yep.
Like in the comics he looked a lot like Black Lightning or Falcon, Black Falcon.
Well, in the comics, he did actually kind of look like more like Black Lightning, actually.
Yeah, but with his color scheme and whatnot.
Yeah. I get you. But everything about his character, for me, what they showed in first season, for me, was great. Like for me, I personally think that his character was like page for page, like ripped from the comic books all the way to the screen.
Yeah, exactly. And so is that like entire like audition scene.
Oh, one more thing. I will say, I just want to mention that as well. Speaking of like Robot and Monster Girl, I just want to return back to one thing. I really, really like, which it gives the character way more layer to his character development or character journey. But the relationship that Robot and Monster Girl had, well, sorry, they have. Even though I think now it's kind of getting a little bit, a little bit bigger. The relationship is going to be a little bit bigger. But when he was still a machine, like, I really, really like the relationship. Like, it kind of reminded me of like a big brother and little sister kind of like relationship they had.
Yeah.
And I will say this. That scene where he's like, I will never let you die. I was like, wow. I was like, what the hell is going on with him? Like it must be some kind of malfunction. But the way how like she was like holding his hand and then he's like, die. And he's like, back off. Like Monster Girl is just simply going a little bit easier, like she's going back off.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What the hell is wrong with him?
Okay, so we took a little break, but we're back, and
I think now we can talk about the character you've been waiting for a long time.
I've been begging Alan to talk about this character.
So you do the honors.
Alan the Alien.
Yes, voiced by Seth Rogen, everyone.
Oh, I know. Like literally. I love this character. He's one of my top 3 favorite characters. Literally, he is just the most like chill back, naive, and very he's like one of those characters that would do anything for you.
My favorite parts about Alan the Alien, for what we've seen so far in season 1, was like 2 things. One is when he says he has to go to Earth, but then he basically he mistook Earth for another planet. You know?
Urath.
Yeah, Urath, and basically this is Earth, and his eye slowly watching Invincible, basically that look just simply tells you, fuck, I screwed up.
Yeah, exactly. And him and just like his side adventures that he have in the comics, they would the way that they would tell his side adventures in the comics, it feels like an old serial or something like that. Literally, there would be Mark would be with Amber or something like that. Well, we don't want to focus on that. It's a it's a family program, even though it's clearly not. And so I would imagine this voice in my head just be like a old timey TV announcer. We're gonna be focusing on Alan the Alien, and just talks about his big deep space adventures, and him and the coalition of planets and whatnot, and his backstory and whatnot. It is amazing.
Oh my god! And the second thing about Alan the Alien that I love is that the very end, the very last scene of episode 8, when he's like, "What's high school?"
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even in the comic. I was talking to you about that. Literally, it was just a last minute thing. I'm like, that is so Alan the Alien.
But not only that, but that's so even Seth Rogen. That's even he would say.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't think. I knew Seth Rogen had an involvement because there's a live action Invincible movie in development. Him and Evan Goldberg are the directs, so he kind of has a mutual kind of partnership with Robert Kirkman and the crew, and the fact that he's an executive producer with Evan Goldberg.
Yep.
And the fact that he actually voiced the character was amazing.
Yeah, but even though Seth Rogen is one of the executive producers, like you still have to realize, that the main brain behind it is Robert Kirkman.
Oh, like the fact that Kirkman literally like made this show, like literally it's like even though Invincible, it has a pretty decent following, but still it is it's still independent, and the fact that like they got to get this made with a big name cast,
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of animators that actually worked on other big animated projects like from DC and whatnot, and like this actually looks like a DC cartoon, like kind of reminds me of like Young Justice and whatnot.
Yep.
It just has all that greatness with it. I'm telling you, it's just absolutely fantastic. And
Couldn't agree
like
more.
yeah, and like this is making me get more into like more Kirkman related projects and stuff like that. Like I'm getting more into like Oblivion Song and
Like seriously, I will tell you this: if Invincible, became so successful, and believe me, you and I know it's on a really good start to be very successful. Uh, Honestly, if they announced, like after 2 3 seasons, or maybe during the second season, whatever, if they announced we're gonna make a few spin-offs of Invincible, like we're gonna
yeah,
make
like in
a
the Invincible universe, like Astonishing Wolfman, Tech Jacket, Brit, maybe a Guardian series.
exactly, like for example, if they said, now hear me out, if they said we're gonna make a Guardians of the Globe spin-off, we're gonna make a Teen Titans,
Team.
that's what happens when you get carried away a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, we're gonna make a Guardians of the Globe spin-off. We're gonna make a Team spin-off. We're gonna make an Alan
Team
the
Team
Alien
literally
spin-off.
disbanded at the first season, so I don't. Did they even have like a spin-off, like a future team of the Team?
Mm, I don't think so. But but it could be. But if Robert Kirkman, gets involved, they can be very creative about that.
Yeah, like Kirkman said himself that like for future seasons that he would be open to like alternate possibility, like there was like alternate storylines that they had for the comic that didn't make it, so if they
Mhm.
did something like that.
He even said, I will tell you this. He even said that one of the ideas that he'll be really open to introducing in the TV show is, for example, if Invincible goes in a mission in hell,
Oh,
alongside Damien Darkblood.
I mean that would be amazing.
Honestly, like I said, those are brand new things that never went into the comic book series. Like if Robert Kirkman decides to do like an arc basically centered in the gates of in the ring inside the rings of hell or something, but basically you have Invincible teaming up with Darkblood. Honestly, count me in. I'll have no problems with that.
Same.
Oh my god. Yeah, but the point was anyway. The point I was trying to make is that if they announce like some spin-offs outside Invincible, well, outside the main TV show Invincible, honestly, I'll be like open. Like
Yeah.
give me a give okay, Team. I don't maybe see it happening, but for example, like a spin-off about Alan the Alien and his adventures, that could happen. That could happen. Two, Guardians of the Globe. I'm sorry, they have their own issues. The comic books. I mean,
Yeah, they do have a mini series.
so they can easily adapt the miniseries.
And then two fan favorite characters that I recently got introduced to not too long ago, which I really want to read up on them, are Tech Jacket and the Astonishing Wolfman.
Correct. So, like, yeah, I mean, like, seriously, if Invincible became successful, and you and I know, and we have an idea, it will, we can easily get some spin-offs. And honestly, I would have no problem with that.
Yeah, Kirkman would probably do it if he had the funding for it, because the Invincible universe, like, it is very expansive.
Oh, true. Yeah. It is really big and expendable, really big.
And it's not like it's definitely not like the Marvel DC universe, because it's been around. The Marvel DC, all these major comic book publishers, it is constantly getting rebooted and retconned and whatnot, and the idea of Invincible is it's a flat out, like, it is a flat out story from beginning to end.
Yep. That's true. That is absolutely true. And so, like,
Science Dog.
Right.
We need a Science Dog show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good one. That I'll be open 100%. 100%.
Well, technically in the show now he's Science Dog, because but there was, like, Kirkman wanted to save him. Like, he didn't want him, like, I think Amazon owned by him, or he had an appearance in The Walking Dead, so I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, I heard some stories about that. Yeah, I mean, look, what happens.
Yeah,
it happens. You know. But anyway, going back to your favorite character, Alan the Alien, I will tell you one thing. Of the 2 appearances he had for now, because I'm going to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, in the future seasons, just like in the comic books, you're going to see a lot of Alan the Alien.
Yeah, exactly. He, no spoilers, but he has a big part in a specific event.
Yep. I mean, would it be spoiler if you said the title of the event?
The Filtramite War.
Right. I mean, like, look, the thing is that, you know, from season 1, especially the finale, you know we're getting to that.
Yeah.
So if you just simply say the title, I don't think, like, it will be that spoiler.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but the one thing what my colleague said, it is true. This this is gonna be an event where basically you're gonna see a lot of Alan the Alien, but even through that, he's gonna appear. Even still, he's gonna appear a lot. You know.
Oh, I know.
And the point is that the reason why I enjoy his appearances, well, 2 actually, it's because, like, through his appearances you can definitely see that, like, Seth Rogen made Alan the Alien his own character.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm telling you, he was definitely the perfect voice for him. And if they were to ever, they are doing it. When they do the live action movie, like, he's literally one of my choices, probably my top choice. There are a few other choices that I'd like. I've seen some good fan castings out there.
Although when you and I were talking about before the show actually came out, you actually said that one of your fan casting, one of your official fan casting, was actually Seth Rogen as Alan the Alien.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, I was really excited for the voice, so I'm like, I could see it. So.
Yeah, but you actually fan casted him before it was officially released.
True. So yeah.
So that made you very happy.
I know. Yeah. Very happy.
Yeah. Like every single appearance he had, like every single dialogue, personality, like everything about Alan the Alien was just simply great. And I really cannot wait for the relationship between Mark and him to be explored. Like, because their relationship, Alan the Alien has another relationship that's actually pretty good, but I'm not going to spoil what it is.
Yeah.
But the one that he has with Mark is also actually pretty good, mostly because of the comedy. It's pretty good.
Exactly. Like, they do have, like, an authentic relationship. I love his first appearance where he was like you like literally I've heard people talking like you think that he was supposed to be like a villain, but then he's like, you want your time out? And then like Mark's like, what time out? Like just like it's just very funny. His comedy there is just very authentic, and just his like the fact that like Mark said it himself that like he is just like he is a smaller part of like a larger universe. So
yeah, that is true. I mean, like, it's serious. Like, just like you, I really cannot wait to see more of Alan the Alien. I you know, and I do know we're gonna see more of him in the future. Definitely.
oh, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go. Let's jump into one more time to the dark side of Invincible. Like,
I know you're excited for that. I know you're excited for that.
Yeah. So how about we start from one of my again, he's in my top 10 favorite Invincible villains, Titan. And oh my God, like he is voiced by the one and only, like
Mahershala Ali.
yes, like when honestly, I will tell you this. I'll be honest with you. When they announced Invincible, the animated TV show, and at first, like when I thought that Titan should be voiced, like I actually had two people actually who could voice back in those days before the official announcement. I had two people in mind voicing Titan. Two people. One, Kevin Michael Richardson.
Of course.
Two, Tony Todd. Those two voicing Titan. But when I heard that Ali is gonna voice Titan, I was like, fucking hell, like that's perfect.
Keep in mind that this is a 2-time Academy Award winning actor.
Yes.
And he has Blade coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So to have him in this, like, I'm telling you,
like, I mean, see, even with just the voice, he was such a presence in those episodes. Yeah. Like all the way from the very first one, where he appeared, when Mark was dressing up in like this kind of like pajama suit, like when they met on the street, like since that very first time he appeared, and then like all the way until like when his own episode came out, like every scene he was in, he was such a presence. Even just through his voice, he was such a presence. And I'm telling you, like I mean, Titan was always, just for me personally. I know how you feel, but Titan for me was like always like a Invincible version of Kingpin.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like, he starts out as a general thug.
Yeah, I mean, like he is a villain. He is a villain, but at the same time, you could kind of say he's like an anti-villain, anti-hero.
Yeah. Well, in this, I don't think they had it in the comics, but he actually has a family in this.
I think I don't remember if he had a family or not in the comics.
I don't remember them.
If he didn't, and what they add in the animation is actually new, I will tell you this: like this is adding like way more layer to the character.
Yeah.
And I was like, like first and foremost, like that part when we actually find out like who actually betrayed Machine Head, the anonymous call. Like honestly, that part I knew. Because I knew eventually, that in the comic books, Titan took place of Machine Head.
Yeah.
Took his place, I knew that. So one way or another, that was actually supposed to happen. So for that part, I was ready, But even still seeing that happening on the screen was still like, shocking in a way.
Yeah.
Shocking, But even though, like, Titan, he is a villain. And even though, yes, Invincible helped him, but you can even still see, like, like I'm sorry, kid. I didn't want it to happen that way, you know, like for you and me getting beat up so much. Like, I mean, honestly, between Titan and him, Invincible is the one who actually got fucked up way more.
Oh, I know, and I from the Invincible community, like I'm on a we're both on a Facebook page, and literally there's a meme that calls Invincible punching back.
Well, I mean, this.
By the way, go ahead, and then I wanted to add something.
Okay, I was just trying to say is that this season is supposed to be like his origin story.
Yeah.
So he is in a way sometimes a superhero starts like a punching bag, and then
more so in this, but he does get a crap ton more powerful. That's for sure.
Especially from a certain character that you and I are big fans of. You know, voiced by the one and only Michael Dorn.
I know.
Oh my God. Like,
Battle Beast is literally a beast.
Oh my
literally
God.
And figuratively. And by the way, the fact that they got Michael Dorn, like, literally the Klingon officer himself, Worf.
I mean, I will tell you this: like I'll be honest with you. I'm not quite familiar with Michael Dorn's work apart from Star Trek.
I've heard him there and there. I mean, I'm a tracker, so
yeah. I mean, like, I know that Michael Dorn did, you know, a lot of like different, you know, acting jobs, but like outside Star Trek, you know, I was not quite familiar with his work, you know, like, but even though I only know him from Star Trek, like when Kirkman announced that Michael Dorn was the choice to voice Battle Beast, even though I just know him from Star Trek, I was so happy, like, you know, like to hear Michael Dorn voicing the character, you know, because it was just simply a like 100% super matchup.
Well, Kirkman had the most like casual response too. Like it was the trailer when they released the trailer for the online New York Comic-Con event.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're having Battle Beast in this show." just like we were all like, "What?"
Well, technically, the way how he appeared in the TV show, that's actually how he appeared in the comic books.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, by the way, you know, I mean, of course, you know, during that battle, oh my God, Invincible and the Guardians of the Globe, like, oh my God, they got their ass kicked so much.
Oh,
and
I know.
There were different villains. You know, like the tyrant, you know, the guy with the tentacles, you know.
Yeah, other tyrant.
What's the name of the electric villain?
I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. There was a funny scene in the comics though. This isn't much of a spoiler, but literally, like, I think like that electric villain was like peeking out, and then like Invincible's like, "Get back in there!" He's like, "Sorry."
Yeah, I do recall that, you know, because I know every single villain that was in that room. I know every single villain, but when it comes to by name, I only knew Battle Beast and the Threat Tyrant. That's the only two I know, like, by name.
I know Magmatic too.
Right. I mean, there's so many characters that I always forget their names. Forget their names, you know. But when
there is a lot of characters.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. And don't forget, there are a lot more yet to come.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I know. So I will say this, like, you know, like that scene where basically you have all these villains coming together. I mean, like, okay, they did a number on the Guardians of the Globe and Invincible, all of them. But you and I have to admit, the biggest damage out of all of them that was handled by Battle Beast. he was the one who gave the most damage to all of them.
Oh, I know. Well, luckily, Samson got his powers back from it. So, I mean, there was something good out of that. The Monster Girl got her face bashed in.
Whoa. And honestly, in the comic books, Monster Girl was not actually that damaged.
Yeah, but this fight was probably one of the most brutal of the show. So,
not to mention that someone was observing without doing anything.
Thanks, Dad.
Courtesy you, Dad. You could have helped. Screw you.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Well, you know how Omni-Man is, though.
Yeah, I know. Oh, like we talked with so many different, characters. Like before I go back to Titan, I just want to mention for a short period of time. I love Machine Head. Like especially the little defect they did on his voice. Like,
oh, I know,
that was
auto-tune,
pitch perfect.
Yeah. So, if you know the Invincible podcast, I showed this to Alan today. They knew somebody who had a remix of the Machine Head, where he just did like this rap song, like literally, like he's like, "I know where your family lives," and then like it was just so funny.
Oh my! It was
like I literally was dancing around to it, like.
Oh my! No, it is hilarious. It is hilarious, like no doubt, But even though every single line that he said was as a joke, was meant as a joke, but the one thing that made me laugh so hard was his voice. Like, "This is your life now. Like, I know where your family lives. It will work with me until I say you're fucking done."
Yeah.
Even that scene when he was like writing down something and he's like, "Oh, hey, Invincible." Like, he continues writing down, like he doesn't give a shit. Like oh my god. Like,
oh, I know.
I mean, Machine Head, it is like a one-off villain, but still, for me, iconic.
Well, he makes more appearances in the comics, but as far as like that is like his big big.
Well, yeah, I mean, true. He does makes appearances, but not like in a very major way.
Yeah.
But so that's why I'm saying, like, he's like a one-off villain, but even still, like 100% iconic. And
there's Isotope.
True, but Machine Head is better.
Yeah. Well, Isotope's just there.
True. I mean, again, correct. But I will tell you this, through the comic books, Machine Head was, in a way, iconic because of his head, and because of his personality. But now, through animation and through his voice and his mechanical defect, his vocal defect, now he became way more iconic. Way more.
Yeah,
I would say, and after what I've seen, when it comes to Titan, straight up, like at the very ending, like I said, he will become the Invincible's version of Kingpin. He will be a gangster, he will be a villain, but at the same time, he will try to help people. He will try to make the city like a better place to live.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm telling you, it's all great.
Oh my god, yeah. And oh my god, like, can we talk about, when it comes to Titan, that last scene in the finale? Because he's gonna face another mobster villain.
Yeah.
That is part of it. That is a founding member of the Order.
Yeah, we did talk about that earlier.
And honestly, I was just simply waiting for that old man to appear, because even though he's just a simple, Asian, mobster, that mechanical jaw, I was like, it's so badass looks on him, And you and I talk about his powers, he has the soul projection. Because a lot of people thought like, oh my God, he can turn into a dragon. No, he can just simply create like soul projections.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and the dragon is like one of his iconic projections.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really can't wait to see more of the mechanical Jaw Sensei.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, like, okay.
Well, we're definitely quite a few characters into some of the main ones. By the way, I did want to give a quick mention to Reginald Fell Johnson literally playing Principal Winslow.
I couldn't fucking believe. First and foremost, Principal Winslow, number one. Number two, I was like, is that the actual actor?
Yeah, Kirkman announced it in the Invincible podcast, and then, something like that. I'm like, yes, and the fact that literally the high school is called Reginald Fell Johnson High School. By the way, I want to see more of Principal Winslow. I want him to give.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
There is like so many, like not just. There's so many Family Matters and just so many nostalgic 80s, 90s TV shows, retro TV shows in general. Because in one of the first issue of Invincible, there's literally a character named Steve White, and then the volumes, the actual trade paperbacks of it, literally the first volume is called Family Matters. Like, come on, if that isn't amazing, I don't know what is.
It just simply shows to prove you. It just simply proves you that Robert Kirkman was a fan of the Family Matters.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he probably loved all the TGIF, and it's not just like he loves like sitcoms in general, because it does have like a sitcom element, and literally like the trade paperbacks and whatnot. Like there was Three's Company, Eight is Enough, Full House, Happy Days, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh God. Okay, so shall we move to Adam Eve?
Yeah, she is. She has a big part in the comics. She does have a bigger part in the comics, and I was really excited to have Jillian Jacobs. By the way, for our community fans here, Britta's in this.
Good one.
Thank you. Have you watched Community?
Yep.
Oh man, isn't it amazing?
Agree. 100% agree.
Oh man, and
everything. I will tell you this: like, there's a lot of like interesting powers, and there's still more to come. But I will tell you this: for me personally, Adam Eve has the most badass, most like greatest superpower out of all of them.
Oh, exactly, and her origin story is pretty like crazy too.
Mm-hmm. How she actually got her powers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we're not gonna say how it happened, but I will tell you, as my compadre will confirm, it is pretty messed up.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is. And also, we'll kind of will give you an idea why her parents are the way they are.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen them more in this.
Yeah.
Her dad is really creepy, by the way.
And oh my God, her dad is voiced by Fred Tatasciore.
Yeah, he definitely sounds familiar. Where's he from?
Fred Tatasciore is basically the voice that you will use for like monstrous characters. And
also, didn't he play the Hulk?
Oh yes.
Oh man.
He voices the Hulk in almost everything.
Wow.
Well, I mean, until he started, of course.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh my God. Like, I will tell you this, Fred Tatasciore is a voice actor that, for me personally, like, I can't see him voice normal people.
Yeah.
Because he has a very, like, rough voice. Like, seriously, when he was voicing the father of Adam Eve, I was like, okay, that's a little bit too deep.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but I mean, still, I mean, I'm happy that Fred Tatasciore is getting like work and all that. But for me personally, I was like, I think I would way more love him to voice the dinosaurs villain than Adam Eve's father.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I will say this, that scene you said before, like that scene with the parents, oh my God, like that scene was so messed up. So messed
Yeah.
up.
Her dad is very creepy.
Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, a normal parent, when your daughter is saying, like, my boyfriend cheated on me, a reasonable parent, a normal parent would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, dear. Like, like you try to be close with your daughter, try to calm her down, try to give her some positivity. But no, her father, he's like, forgive him. I was like, what? I was like, all guys make mistake. And I'm like, does that mean that you cheated on your own wife before?
Yeah, he is a very sexist pig.
Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, he said, the way he said all guys make mistake, I was thinking like, does that mean you cheated on your own wife as well?
Yeah.
Because the way how he said it, like, he really sounds like that, don't you think?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but the way he's like, don't be a, and I'm like, a bitch. Is that what you're trying to say? Like, I was like, wow. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like her father is like, first and foremost, like, her father is a sexist bastard, but her mother, she also sucks.
Yeah.
Because she is, well, not only naive, she's very naive, but also she, how can I put this? She doesn't know how to control things. She doesn't know how to be in charge. Like, she's very insecure.
Which is a very a very good contrast with Debbie.
True. That is true. I mean, even though Debbie, well, she had her problems, but now she will have way more bigger problems now. I mean, her problem is.
Yeah, we've talked about that. By the way, like kind of segueing into Debbie Grayson. By the way, one of the most important characters in all of this. I literally was looking at a top 10, and literally they put Debbie at number 1, just because.
What happened in episode 8? I can see why.
Yeah, just literally, like she is like the representation of what a strong mom would be in that universe.
Yeah. But I will tell you this, like, going back to Adam Eve, like Adam Eve for me, not simply in the TV show, but like in the entire comic book series, like she was a very interesting character, and personally, like she had like one of the most interesting, alongside Mark, of course, she had like one of the most interesting, and if that's a word, exploring, like, stories, character stories and journeys, out of all of them, like she was like, I can only say that she was always a very fascinating, interesting character, like every decision when it comes to the personality, the powers, the development of the character, like I just simply, just like in the comic books, I just simply cannot wait to see more on the screen of her.
And her relationship, not to spoil anything, I mean, anybody can probably.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah, but but her relationship with Mark is like probably one of the best in comics.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, all the way till the end.
Yeah.
If I can say it that way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, all the way until the end. You're like, you know, I mean, even if if people didn't read the comic books, just from the second episode when Adam Eve was introduced, even from the second episode, you can actually imagine and figure out that Mark and Adam Eve will be a thing. They will be a couple. You know, like you can definitely have the feeling, especially the first clue is actually, you know, when Rex Splode actually cheated on her, and when she basically went back to Mark. You know, of course, you know, she saw Amber and, you know, Mark smooching together and all that, but, you know, she came there. Like, she literally, out of all the people, she thought of Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say this, like, you know, she was a good sport. Like, you know, she's like, when she said, "Good for you, Mark." Like, she was a good sport.
Yeah.
You know, and I really cannot wait to see how their relationship will develop, because trust me, believe me, people, like their relationship will go to some really crazy shit.
Yeah, it definitely does get complicated,
Mm-hmm.
even complicated before they get together.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, you know, of course, a lot of people will say, "Wait, but what about Amber and Mark?" I was like, should we go there, Peyton, or what?
I mean, all right, you know what? We've already gotten into spoilers for the comics. So
Yeah.
in the comics, they end up breaking up on very neutral terms.
Yeah, I will say this. Out of all the relationships, like fictional and real lives, they ended up on a very friendly terms.
Yeah.
Very friendly.
Like they like even after I could tell, and Mark would literally do anything for Amber, like even after they broken up, which there was one scene and it was like so intense. Like if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I will say, can I tell you one thing?
Go ahead.
Like when I was watching, because when I watch an episode of a show that I love to watch reactions on YouTube.
Same.
I love to, and I love watching the reactions on Invincible, and especially the people who never read the comics. And
yeah, exactly. With specific scenes, including the one in episode.
No. YouTubers reacting to episodes.
Well, I'm just saying, like when people would react to the end of episode 1.
Yeah. And the one thing I can tell you, there's a lot of people who are not familiar with the comic books. There's a lot of people who said, like, who literally were begging not to kill off Adam Eve, not to kill her off. Like,
oh, geez.
And in my mind, I'm like, if they only knew. If they only knew.
Yeah, like, well, literally, like since like I am like I am almost 2/3 of the way into it, so I know pretty much like what's gonna happen and whatnot, and just from what we talk about, and I actually literally watched. I was at my brother's apartment yesterday, and I just sat down and I'm like, you know what, I need to watch some Invincible just to catch up for the podcast, and you know, I love Invincible, so I literally was looking. So I was watching the first episode. My brother was just kind of peeking, then he had some things to do. I think maybe like he got like a little less than halfway through. He really just sat down and watched it with me. And then I'm like to him, make sure you don't go anywhere. Make sure you stay till the end. He's like, okay. And then so like he was watching that, and then he literally was like cursing and whatnot. And he's like, what happened there? Like, what is this? What are you showing me? Like, and he's like, okay, so is Omni-Man like mind control? I'm like, nope. He's like, okay, I'm in. And then we watched another episode.
Oh my god! Because one of my friends, I mean, we didn't watch Invincible together, but I kind of pushed him, I kind of persuaded him to watch the Invincible episodes, and he was literally asking me the same question, like, is Omni-Man controlled? And I simply said, nope. Like, he's like, then everyone's like, especially what I love about is watching people who'd never read the comics, like who watch people like, why did Omni-Man do it? Why did he kill them? Why did he do all this? Like
there are some really intense reactions too. Like I was really feeling for them because I knew what was going to happen from years ago.
Yeah, because my friend told me look, without spoilers, just tell me, is what Omni-Man did, like the reason behind it, is it personal or not? And he's like, and I'm like, okay, it's not personal. It's not personal, but it's like something on a larger scale, in a way. I'm like, larger scale? Like what? Whoa. I told you, I think, enough. The rest is up to you. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna spoil him everything.
Yeah.
So, oh my god, anyway, like the relationship overall that Adam, Eve, and Mark had in this first season, I was like, that's a really great start, and I really cannot wait to their relationship to be explored more into season 2 and 3. So before we go to the main two, Invincible and Omni-Man.
Yeah.
We talked about Amber a little bit, in the beginning.
Yeah.
So we're gonna jump all the way off her, and we go to Debbie Grayson.
Yeah. Like I said before, Debbie is kind of the glue that keeps Mark and Nolan together.
Like seriously, I will tell you this: if Omni-Man and Debbie never had Mark, I'm telling you, man, Debbie would have snapped. She would have snapped because Mark is the only thing that kept her on the edge of sanity.
Yeah.
I mean, even though for episode 8, you can definitely see she has been through a lot. Been through a lot. I mean, I wanted to say this, when we went to Omni-Man, but I have to say it right now. When he said, I do love your mother, but she's more like a pet. And I'm like, whoa.
I've heard that before, but hearing that, seeing Debbie's reaction and whatnot, it just.
Yeah. Even when Mark said, so it's like mom's life worthless. And I'm like, on a grand scheme of things, yes. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah. And she's listening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, could you imagine, basically, Omni-Man thought of her as a pet. He thought of her, as being worthless on the grand scheme of things, because he told that to Mark personally, and Jesus, even though she's been through a lot, and we all know that the next stage will be alcoholism.
Yeah.
She will go way more deeper into that, but I still have to congratulate. She is one strong woman.
Oh, I know.
For everything that she's been through, I'm astounded. And also, oh my God, can we just simply applaud the voice acting?
Oh, I know. I was so excited to have Sandra Oh in this. I love Sandra Oh.
Oh my God, her performance, just through the voice, her performance, especially through the crucial moments, it was outstanding. outstanding. Like every single expression, every single dialogue, every single, it's either anger or sadness or depression or when she's drunk. Like she made it so real. And
Yeah.
and that moment where she said, "Fuck you, Nolan," like that was like, wow.
It is a very even though there's all of this very grand scheme, comic book action and whatnot, the one thing about this is that it is an extremely human show.
Yeah, very human.
Extremely human franchise, comic book, show, and then whatever's coming out next. It's not just the violence. It's also about character development, and you get to see this in characters. And I'm going to mention more with Mark and Nolan later. That it has very real character development, even though, like I said before, it starts out very comic book. It starts out very optimistic, even though there is like kind of like a parody element to it, and it kind of makes fun of certain comic book tropes. By the way, there's a hilarious panel in it. I don't know if you remember this, where Mark went to the comic book store and he met the creator of Science Dog, and he's like, they're like, oh yeah, we just use the same panels over and over again, and he's like, it's not a little cheap? Literally as like the same image. He's like, yep. Like it was so smart.
Oh my god, yeah, I agree. Like, oh my god, but going back to Debbie, like her relation, I loved her relationship with Omni-Man and Mark. Like it's literally it's one of the most natural husband, wife, mother, son relationships I have ever seen. Not just simply in the superhero genre, but like in animation. It's one of the most natural relationships
in fiction in general.
Yeah.
It shows, like, literally, their talk was like, I love my boring mom. I love my asshole son. Like, my apologies for the cursing, but I mean, just showing there. But anyway,
sailed already.
Yeah, I don't really like cursing on camera. But anyways.
Well, you should have thought that before you started to make a partnership with me.
Well, true. Yeah, you're kind
of yes. But anyway, like, Debbie again, or her real name is Deborah, right?
Yeah, Deborah.
Okay.
She goes by Debbie.
Yeah, because I'm used to always call her Debbie.
Yeah.
Always. So like she was like with all other supporting characters, she was great, really amazing, and like I think it's time we go to the big two.
Oh yeah. All right.
Okay.
First.
Now, I don't want to flip a coin with this one, but I think we should start with Invincible.
I kind of want to go. All right. Well.
Okay. Look.
All right. You know what? Let's go with Invincible first, and then we'll go with Omni-Man, and that will lead into that will lead into the big conflict, and we'll talk about it. All right.
Okay. I think, like, you know what? You start giving your own thoughts about Invincible and his portrayal in this anime TV show, and then I will do my turn.
First of all, I have to give a big kudos to Steven Yeun. I was so excited to have him voice this character and whatnot. And I actually started watching The Walking Dead. And believe it or not, considering that, like, oh wow, you're a Kirkman fan. How have you like watched or read The Walking Dead? Well, I'm doing that now. But I was watching him on The Walking Dead pretty recently. And I'm like, he is great for this role. I know him more for Keith in Fultron Legendary Defender, and like I'm like, and he's done some other voice work and whatnot. I'm like, he is great for this. And like I said himself, he is a triple threat with being an Academy Award winning. Oh crap!
What?
We forgot Art.
Who?
Art Rosenbaum, portrayed by Mark Hamill.
Oh my God.
All right, we'll get back to Invincible. We need to talk about Art.
Well, first and foremost, you know as well as I do that even in the comics, just like in the animated TV show, he doesn't have a big of a role.
He is a good supporting character though,
True.
and the way that
True.
Mark Hamill voices him.
But honestly, I'll be honest with you, man. Like, even though like Mark Hamill is one of my top 10 favorite voice actors of all time, but every time when I hear Mark Hamill voicing Art, like he's basically voicing himself.
Yeah.
In a way. So when they cast him in Invincible before actually his role was revealed, honestly, I would have preferred if he voiced like Doc Sismic or Cecil or Robot, even if you want. Like, I mean, okay, this is a bit too far, but like, you get my point. For Mark Hamill and for his caliber, what he can do is basically like I wanted a role that basically can like extend his talent as a voice actor, you know, because when you give him roles, because usually the roles when you give him where basically he can be just simply himself with the voice. I'm sorry, you know, even though look, I love Art Rosenbaum as a character. I love him as a supporting character. You know, he really is a really good supporting character. I agree with you on that. But voice like when it comes to Mark Hamill, I'm always expecting, you know, for him to have a role, you know, suit for him.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe if Kirkman has the right role for him, maybe he can have him do something a little more theatrical.
Well, I mean, look, Mark, you know, Kevin Michael Richardson, first and foremost, he's voicing two characters: Monster Girl, the Beast form, and the Molar twins.
Yeah.
So Mark Hamill maybe can voice another character in the future.
Well, I mean, that is true, yeah.
You know, I mean, that it's not the first time when you have a voice actor voicing more than one character.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I still really like Art.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, but honestly, like Art Rosenbaum is a character, like, first and foremost, like a tailor during the day and during the night costume, like superhero costume maker. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, like, even though I have to admit, like, his tailor shop / lab is like really cool, you know.
It is, yeah.
Like, even though he's just a tailor, like the way how he makes the costumes, not just simply the designs, because, you know, he did say if you have an idea of the name, like, you know, that will give me like a spark to create your own to create a superhero costume, you know.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you know, when Mark came to Art and he said, "I got it," you know, like the name, and he's like, "Well, let's get to work," you know,
yeah.
And boom, like there you have Invincible costume, you know.
Like he knew exactly, like as soon as he heard the name, he's like, and by the way, the actual Invincible costume, Kirkman said himself that basically he made an eye for image.
Yeah. I read that. I read the news somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Also,
go ahead.
No, I was just trying to say, you know, that even though he looks like a tailor, like when you go like basically through the superhero agenda, costume making, you know, life that he has, like it kind of gives you an idea that this guy is like has some really great skills when it comes to being an engineer and also when it comes to overall science.
Oh, I know. Like Omni-Man's suit, like, is like very like durable.
Mm-hmm.
Though there is like a running joke. There's always been a running joke that Invincible's goggles, literally, like they always bust up. Which literally somebody needs to make them like military grade or some, or even like get like some type of glass from like some alien ship or something like that.
Oh god, yeah, I agree. I agree on that one. Yeah. Also, can we both, you and I, agree that we were pissing our pants when Omni-Man appeared in front of Art?
Oh, I know.
When we thought like he's gonna kill him.
Yeah, I hope not.
And of course, now we know he won't. He didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
think
but
sorry, I was just trying to say that I think like when they had a drink on the top, the way how Omni-Man was talking, I think I had a feeling that he was like threatening him.
yeah, exactly. Like subtly. Like I don't think he would do that because there is something with Omni-Man that even though you know, and we'll talk about it later, but I feel like he does have certain attachments.
Yeah, I mean, like he can. I mean, I can talk about that about Omni-Man when we get to him, but you know, right now when it comes to Art, also, which is another thing that I love when it comes to people's reactions, is that everyone was begging. Everyone was begging that he didn't kill Art. Everyone was begging that he didn't kill him, even though you and I kind of remember that he's still alive in the future storylines. So, you know, we kind of knew that he will survive.
Yeah, pretty much.
But even
Yeah.
still, that feeling when when he came behind him and before he showed the beers, like you think like, oh my god, he's gonna kill him. Oh my god, and basically, drink. Oh my god, you know. But like that scene alone, and basically then Debbie and him talking, because like the way how he was behaving, I can definitely see why. You know, like Art, like Omni-Man was like Art, one of Art's personal like friends. So you know, and he made a costume for him. So all of that felt like, you know, he was literally betrayed, stabbed in the back.
Yeah, pretty much. Now I wanted to get back to Invincible.
Right.
Mark Grayson, like I said before, he ties into kind of the theme of this on how things get more complicated, things get more mature as you grow.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Mark is Mark can be selfish, like I said with William and a few other things there and there, but Mark is very a very good character with a very good heart.
Yep.
And he, like, you can clearly tell from the finale that he is that he will do what's right, even with his own father.
True.
Like, and that's what I love about him. He gets more complicated. He move like he has a hard time understanding what it truly means to be a hero. And that's what and as we get to get more deep into the character, like that's where like it all ties into the theme of, you know, of a very realistic superhero program.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about. That's what I love about that character and whatnot. And he will be willing to do what's right, even though, you know, it doesn't seem right.
True. I mean, like his overall, not just simply his overall character journey through his origin story, which is basically the season one, not just simply through that, but even like Mark has a character journey, like basically the entire Invincible storyline, all the way until the end. Like, you know,
Yeah.
everything he comes everyone he comes across, every fight, every decision, every heartbreak, every emotion, every single thing improves the character of Invincible. Like every single thing is a life lesson to him, you know. So like you can kind of say that through the entire story, like the entire story is basically his character journey.
Yeah.
And for what they were able to do in season 1 with 8 episodes as a first step, because this is literally like a first step.
Yeah.
For Mark. And it was just simply amazing. All the way to discovering his powers, for learning them, to learn how to be a hero, the consequences, his relationship with his family, the friends, his private relationships. Like I can go on, but basically like every single element they shown in this first season for when it comes to Invincible, it was just simply amazing, superhero-like, but at the same time very human on the ground.
Yeah,
Like level-headed.
Exactly. And by the way, I just have to say that Cory Walker made a fantastic costume. Like literally, it screams iconic. Like it is up there with I feel like it's up there with Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, all the great costumes.
That part, I mean, for a lot of people, this could be debatable, but for me, I will agree with you on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Even his blue and black one is pretty cool.
True. But even though, like, well, since you already said, you know, like, you know, in the future storylines, Invincible will have a change of costume.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
And it weirdly kind of ties into kind of the themes of where the story is going in a way.
yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna be honest with you, Peyton, because you already know that. But I'll be honest with you guys. Like, we are trying to be as spoiler free as we can, because
Yeah.
trust me, trust us, our knowledge of Invincible is big. So we are trying to handle ourselves very gently. You know.
By the way, stay as far into this podcast as you can, because we're going to be talking. And by the way, this is kind of spoilery, but these are characters that you are going to expect in this, and we're not going to get too deep into them, but there are some fan favorite characters that we are pretty excited that are going to be joining us.
Especially for me.
Yeah, I know there's one in particular, two in particular that you're pretty excited about.
Oh yeah, like oh my god, yeah. But you know, like I can say so much more about Invincible. You know, like I can say so much more about Mark's character. You know, but for me personally, it won't be enough because again, like as I said, like this is only first season. Those are only first steps. You know, and unfortunately, you and I we can't go deeper into the comic books. You know, because we didn't arrive yet there. So, for short, I will just simply say this, that for what they were able to do in the first season, when it comes to his origin story, his starting point, and with everything, basically, it was just simply wonderful. And not to mention, like, Steven's, like, voice acting when it comes to voicing Mark, like, he was just simply amazing. Every moment was on point, and like, I know he's an Academy Award actor, but like, he deserves an award even for this.
Seriously, this show deserves any Emmy, like any Emmy that they can give for. I mean, you could probably put this under the. I mean, I know the Annies. If this were to be nominated for an Annie, but I'm talking, but this should definitely be nominated for an Emmy, like for like prime time or something like that. Like,
I mean, even like for you know, as you have People's Choice Award and Kids Choice Award.
Yeah.
Even like for People's Choice Award will be something.
Or MTV TV and Movie Award.
Exactly. You know, just give an award to Steven because he deserves it.
Oh, I know. Everything from his optimism to his frustration, and like I said, I'm starting to watch The Walking Dead, and I could see where he's coming from in that performance. I love Glenn because Steven makes it his own. And the same thing with Mark. And even though I've always loved Mark Rayson, Steven definitely makes this character his own.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I agree on that. I agree with you on that one. And I will tell you this: when they announced the casting choice for Invincible, the character, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting.
I was wondering who they would cast. And as soon as I'm like, okay, I'm in. I am in for Steven. By the way, I just would like to give a shout out to we talked about Rex Flode, but I just like to give a shout out to Jason Mantzoukas. Not only he did a great job with it, he's also a fan of the comic. He literally read it as it was coming out. And there are a lot of there are kind of a few I know Steven read the comic, and I know there's a few people who have read it. And
what do you think about Marshall Ali? Do you think he read it?
I think he might have read a little bit.
Because here's the thing: when you have an animated TV show where you have voices of Academy Award-winning actors, I'm always curious what brought him into this project. What kind of an interest?
Well, Kirkman was talking about how these actors, and there's a lot of actors and whatnot that are involved with it. And he's like, well, some of them have read it, some of them haven't, some of them wanted to, and it was more about their them wanting to be in the character. And he was talking about J.K. Simmons, and they were kind of I think he said something about J.K. saying that he kind of wanted to be in the role, kind of wanted to have more of his own take. And because they got to keep in mind that these are performers and they have to get into a certain mindset than other than just saying, hey, I like the comic and whatnot. But
gotcha. I mean, honestly, yeah, but also, I just want to mention that J.K. Simmons has some experience in voiceover.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and well, by the way,
Kai, he voiced the main bad guy, Kai the Collector.
Actually, that ties into Omni-Man. By the way, first things first, J.K. Simmons. J.K. freaking Simmons. This is literally the best role you can give to him.
By the way, I'm sorry. I know we can praise J.K. Simmons all the time you want, but can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Have you watched Whiplash?
I need to.
Oh, hey. Look, I watched the entire movie, and I will tell you this. J.K. Simmons in Whiplash is a fucking revelation. Trust me. He's a revelation. And when you see Whiplash, I mean, you and I can argue, yes, J.K. Simmons is Omni-Man. That's a role for him. Through J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man, all the way from Kai Kung Fu Panda. We can talk about it as much as you want. But Whiplash is where you understand why Kirkman wanted J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, watch that movie. It's I'm telling you, J.K. Simmons deserved all the awards for that movie.
Yeah, exactly. I did want to say with Omni-Man and his performance with it is that in the comics, Omni-Man literally he came off as just your typical Superman superhero, and that is great and everything like that. And then like you get the reveal. But after I think you get even before you know the big twist, you get to subtly see, and then it turns into why he's doing the way he does. You see him crack. You see him become less human and more of what we know him as. And you just get to see this, and it's very frustrating to watch because you know obviously what's going to happen, and then it leads into the final reveal, and what you get to see is a truly like atrocious, like someone that is truly just like become an atrocious being, or you get to see who they truly are. And even though he's not like that later, like he does have a giant change of heart, but like the Filtremite way, it sets into him. He's literally like, Mark, you're Filtremite, even though Mark is half Filtremite and he was raised on Earth. Like he's probably Mark is definitely human, which you think that, you know, Nolan being on Earth that long, like he would be like, oh yeah, like I did learn some stuff and I am kind of humanized, even though he kind of isn't at that point. But it is very heartbreaking to see.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I think you and I can agree that we are kind of went into the Omni-Man description, right?
Yeah, which, I mean, this is going to some big, I mean, we've been talking spoilers, but we didn't talk. But this is like this right here, like literally Omni-Man and Mark. I've literally told Alan this thousands of times, and him and I are both big Star Wars fans. And literally, this is a reverse Darth Vader, reverse Empire. Like literally, like you get to see this being, well, this father figure, like, and then you get to learn this big tragic truth about him. And it's kind of like the reverse of Vader, where you know you get to know that he once was this great being. So that's the reverse of that. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, the way how you like basically were traveling through Omni-Man's description, like it's true. Like, you know, like the first time he appeared, now you think like, you know, he's kind of like this kind of like parody version of Superman. You know, like basically, you know, the big member of the Guardians of the Globe and all that. Then of course you have the fucking reveal where basically he massacres the entire Guardians of the Globe, like from crashing skulls, from chopping heads, like
that was like, even if I knew that was gonna happen, it still was hard to watch. Like literally, like
in the comics.
Oh, that happened. Oh, like just like watching it. And then like the final fight where literally he takes, Mark puts all that effort into trying to save that paratrooper. And then Omni-Man's like, why would you save these worthless humans?
So much effort.
And literally he crushes like the head. It's like, I'm like, oh crap, that happened? Why did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, like,
why'd you do that on me, man? Like, I knew he was gonna do
I mean, like
oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, you know, like he comes like behind the pilot, and he's like, and yet you saved him. So much effort for what? Bang! And like, I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, whoa! But the one thing that really, I was like, oh my God! Like, when he was crushing Red Rush's skull, like, oh my God!
Yeah.
Like, because the one thing you never remember, the way how he kills the Guardians of the Globe in the comics was swift and fast. Was like very fast, very quick, but in this one was way more gory, was way
Yeah.
more genocidal.
You think it would be like fast, considering that it's kind of like a post-credit, it's a mid-credit scene, but like, nope. Kirkman's like, here it is for you. You're welcome.
Like, all right, guys, you wanted violence? Well, here it is. You're welcome.
Like, literally, like, it seems like I've heard comments and I heard like people talk about it. Oh yeah, I was watching this with my 8-year-old son. Like, I was like holy crap. Like somebody was like, yeah, I thought this was like a wholesome superhero show. Nope, you're wrong. There's that 18 plus rating literally right on the corner of the Amazon like streaming service. Yeah, so just to see that, like, literally that rating up there, and then that was just like, no, don't show your kids this. Like literally, when I was that age, I was like so sensitive to like the most like simple stuff. Like, I couldn't watch violence. I hated swearing. I still kind of, and just.
So it's kind of like, it's so I kind of guess the idea why you kind of, don't like, being in a relationship with me. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like the total opposite.
Well, I mean, look, even though I do swear, and even though I love swearing, even like then I'm like, I'm trying to be a little bit, grounded when it comes to that.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, this show literally, like, it didn't have much cursing. They literally have like F-bombs and whatnot.
Yeah, but speaking of, like, when you mentioned, like, watching with your kids, Invincible, dude, that's the same thing. That's the same problem I had with the Harley Quinn show.
Yeah.
Because one of my cousin, like my cousin, that she's like, I think she's like literally like 9 or 10 years old, and she wanted to watch Harley Quinn with me, and I'm like, sorry, cuz that's not a show for you. Like, this is not for you. And I'm like, why? Because it's girly, it's animation, it's cartoon, it's girly, that. Well, yeah, it's all that, but you're not ready for that. Trust me, you're not ready for that. and if you know what I'm talking about, you get the idea.
It is like, I literally like showed my friend it, but like I was watching that with my friend, and then like I was telling him about Invincible. I showed him Invincible. Well, like he's like, is Invincible more violent than that? I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, like, Invincible is a violent superhero story, but when it comes to Harley Quinn is more like an adult dark comedy sitcom.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, see, can I give you just a little taste? I mean, seriously, you watch the first episode, and the first lines start this, and I quote, "Gentlemen, my fellow whites, let's celebrate this big amount of money for our favorite pastime, fucking the ball."
That was hilarious.
I mean, seriously, like, oh my god, like, like, literally, when I was watching first, when he said "my fellow whites," I was like, okay, for full racial, like 100%, like, we're going full on racial, and and then he says "fucking the ball." I was literally laughing my ass out.
Same.
Oh my god! But going back to Invincible, like, same thing, like, like the violence in Harley Quinn is there mostly because of humor, and Invincible's violence is there because for the realistic elements,
Yeah, exactly.
those particular moments,
Yeah.
But going back to Omni-Man, like as I said, I told you before, like in this podcast, like I told you that my friend asked me, like, is Omni-Man's goal personal or something else? And I'm like, no, it's personal. And then, now right after episode 8, we find out the reason why.
Yeah, like the Filtramite Empire.
Yes.
Um,
Because he did say to his son, like, oh, I come from the planet Viltrumite, where you have all these nice super people that basically go to other planets and basically help people. No, that's not actually what happened. Like, that's not the real Viltrum. Like, no, basically, Viltrum is a planet filled with conquering sons of bitches who basically want to destroy everything who gets in their way.
yeah.
And basically, as I said, like basically Omni-Man, what he did, it was basically his duty because he was a soldier, and he wanted to basically conquer Earth from within so he can prepare it to welcome the Viltrum Empire.
Yeah, exactly. And once you get more acquainted to the comics, by the way, the Filtramites, like we'll talk about a few of them later, but the Filtramites are not friendly beings. Like you thought Omni-Man was bad.
Without spoiling anything, well, I will spoil one character later, but without spoiling anything, to kind of connect with what you said, Viltrumites are basically ultimate killing machines.
Pretty much.
Like you said, people thought that Omni-Man was like a monster. Trust me, there are other Viltrumites who are way worse than him. Way worse. Especially one in particular who you and I know and who is, well, one of the main bad guys in a way.
Yeah.
If you know who I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. As soon as I read him, I'm like, more, please. Like, I am definitely telling you there.
Oh yeah. Like I'm telling you, like as when we get into season 2 and 3, like as soon as we get more into the Viltrumites, I'm telling like people need to be prepared because the Viltrumites are not what they seem to be. Like they're way worse than Omni-Man, way worse.
Yeah, exactly. But to conclude the Omni-Man and the big battle at the end,
Ooh,
it was the way that he was acting and just everything, just it was brutal. Like literally, like it was definitely brutal. So from the beginning of him and Mark, like kind of like that. By the way, they didn't have a mentor mentee as well as they had a really strong relationship, but as you got to see that, it was just devastating.
yeah.
Like literally, and my chest was like pounding, and I was literally tearing up, and
I will say this: like I didn't tear up. But I really felt it. Like especially okay, like noticeably through all the episodes where basically Omni-Man was trying to teach his son. Like you can definitely see that he was trying to teach him some of the things through the Viltrumite way.
Yeah.
Like definitely you can see some like little clues dropped in, like time to time. But in that final battle, oh my god! Like first he was trying to reason with him, like we are Viltrumites, like that's our duty, like we have to be loyal to Viltrum, and basically we have to prepare Earth. And even though everything he gave him, like with all the truth, what the Viltrum Empire could have brought to Earth, like through which is actually a big thing, which actually goes which this one I'm about to say, it's a big thing in the Invincible storyline, longevity. because Omni-Man told him, do you have any idea how long we live? The older we get, the slower we age. And since Invincible is almost like a pure blood Viltrumite, almost,
Yeah.
like basically, which kind of actually gives an idea why he said that, that his wife is more like a pet to him.
Yeah.
And also you can kind of get through the idea why he's thinking like that, because basically he told him that that he will live for thousands of years, that basically everyone he cares, everyone he loves, everyone he knows will be gone before he even looks 30.
Yeah, he has a very survival of the fittest mentality, and that is basically the Viltrumite way.
Yeah.
And like he does not understand what like being like at that moment. Like there is a very touching scene, literally right at the end of the big fight with Omni-Man, and Debbie was teaching Nolan that being just about being human, and from the simple baseball game, and there is a little thing of it in the comics, but the actual scene is very heartwarming, and it's just in a way for a very intense scene.
Yeah, I mean, because that flashback basically shows you that Omni-Man did actually change. That he is not the 100% Viltrumite that he actually was when he came to Earth.
Yeah,
he was changed. And basically through the entire fight, that time where basically he told Mark, "Did you see that man's demise disturb you? Well, let's see how you handle this." Boom. He punched him and he threw him all the way to another city with one.
Yeah, and then he was blaming Marks, look what you did to those people for Mark could not control his power at all. Literally Nolan was giving him full force. Mark was trying to save people. By the way, we were talking about the violence, and we were talking how this is a very human show, and we usually get to see people save the day, and well, in all these superhero programs, we usually get to see, oh yeah, save the day and whatnot. But the fact that Mark doesn't literally he is trying everything he can, and unfortunately it goes south. That is what this show is about. It is very human and stuff like that. Yeah, it is depressing. It is horrifying.
Yeah,
but it's the truth.
Yeah, it's basically the truth, but told in a very superhero way.
Yeah.
And like I said, when he punched him, and basically I don't know if that was New York or Chicago. So basically he threw him with one punch. He threw him all the way to Chicago. But when he gave him that punch, you can definitely see the expression on Omni-Man's face. He was he didn't want to do this. You could definitely feel he didn't want to beat the shit out of his own son.
Yeah.
Because even though he was trying to kind of in a Viltrumite way, he was trying to teach him things. But you can definitely see that he was he would rather have try to reason with him without a fight. You know? Basically trying to tell him we have to be loyal to Viltrumite. We'll bring so many things to Earth and all of that. But even still, even though he means well, even though he kind of tries to help, but even still, they will rule the Earth like tyrants. And they will basically be under their control.
Yeah.
But even going back to the flashback scene, when he was, I was like, oh my god! When Omni-Man, he was so cold-blooded. He was what 17 more years? I can always start another, make another kid, bang, bang, bang. But when he saw that flashback, and when he stopped, when he's damn it, not damn it, like like he cannot finish him off. He can't, and basically he's like, why did you make me do this? You're fighting so you can live and watch everyone die. Think, Mark. You will outlast every single non-significant human being. You will live to see this world crumble before you and blown away. Like, what will you have after 500 years? Which, by the way, is a teaser. Which, by the way, it's a teaser for the happy ending.
I got you, Dad.
Yeah, like
I got you.
Yeah, like you, Dad. I got you. And I was like, when he said that, barely, because he was fucked up. The way he said it, I was like, oh my god. Like, and you can even see in his face, Omni-Man, like.
Yeah, like in the comics and then in the show, like you can literally see him tear.
Yeah, because like, like what would you have after 500 years? You, Dad. I'll still have you. And like that literally destroyed him. Because, basically like, when he was looking at his hands, like basically he realized, like, what the hell did I done? Like, like, I mean, I don't want to go into details why he left Earth, but one of the reasons that made him leave Earth is basically what he did to his son. Which, by the way, I just want to say, those were some really cool effects. The way how the blood was burned from his costume.
Oh, I know. Yeah, same thing with when Mark went back into space at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But oh my god, like even though the entire episode, the finale, was great, but like that part, like when Invincible told him, like, I'll still have you, and the way how he left Earth, like that was so heartbreaking,
I know.
so much heartbreaking, but also, like, not to mention when it comes to Omni-Man, like before the grand finale, you can kind of feel like, all the entire episodes were basically like, like a whodunit story.
Yeah.
Like, even though we know Omni-Man, it was basically like a whodunit story done in a very Columbo style.
Yeah.
Like, who killed the victim, but you were trying to find out how he did it. How.
Yeah, exactly. It was a why done it.
Exactly, why done it. And which, by the way, gives me to another scene that I really loved, is basically that conversation that Omni-Man and Cecil had.
Yeah.
Like Guardians of the Globe were your friends, and so was I. Which why I know you didn't kill him for the fun of it. Like, there must be a reason. You want to get off your chest. Like, and seriously, all this shit, and he wanted just simply talk to Mark.
Yeah.
And oh my god, that scene with William and him, like, you were supposed.
It was terrifying.
That was scary as shit. Like, he was like, "You're supposed to bring him home an hour ago." Like, and he's just simply standing like this, and he's like, "Call him."
And like seriously, like, imagine just finding out that your best friend's dad is a superhero. And like, oh yeah, that has to be like the coolest thing. And then you realize, oh crap, your best friend's dad isn't exactly a superhero.
No, he's more like a cold-blooded genocidal villain.
And then like seeing William's reaction, like, oh, crap.
Yeah, because everyone in the world saw what he did to Immortal. Round 2. Which, by the way, I just want to tell everyone, don't worry, you're going to see a lot more of Immortal in the future. Trust me.
Yeah, exactly. And that fight with Immortal. Woo!
Oh my god. And by the way, those like glimpses of his backstory.
Yeah.
Like all the way.
Does tie in.
Yeah, all the way from the beginning when he was like Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like I'm sometimes really curious how the hell his immortality works. Like,
Yeah, I don't even know. And well, he can literally like if you put them back together, he can literally come back to life. So that doesn't really make any sense.
so basically, okay. So the one thing I do know, he does have like a healing factor,
Yeah.
but I never understood how how he actually works. Like, do you put like his body, like his parts, like together like a puzzle, and basically he it attach himself together, like back together again? Like, it is some kind of like a Humpty Dumpty thing.
That I don't know.
No, but one thing for certain, he was really pissed off. Like, where's Omni Man?
I know, like we knew that would happen, but I actually liked more of his reaction because he at first he had more like of an optimistic kind of, Omni Man's on our side and we're happy to have you. Like he like instead of his reaction in the comics, he's like, I never liked you. This
Yeah,
version is a lot more optimistic.
yeah, because you got that one right. He did say, "I never liked you," and basically, like when Omni Man killed him, he's like, "Me neither." And but in the TV show, which for me actually works way more better, he's like, why, and then he's gone.
Like he
Uh,
doesn't say it. Omni Man doesn't say anything that entire
yeah.
Guardian.
Also, I don't know, like the Omni Man storyline with the connection of the Viltrum Empire. Doesn't that remind you kind of the Saiyans and Vegeta?
Yeah.
So I'm like, so when I was watching that, I was like, did Kirkman actually got some inspiration from Dragon Ball?
It seems like he gets inspiration from a lot of things.
I think so too. Also, I don't know if we should go deeper into that, but we can assume we're gonna see Omni Man back in the next season.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, do you think we're gonna have a time skip?
Um, I don't think. I think it's gonna focus more. I think season 2 is gonna be Mark wrapping up high school and
Graduation.
yeah, graduation
Mm.
and him working for Cecil.
Also, I will say this: in the second season, if we're gonna see Omni Man back, uh, we could see the appearance, first official, of another your favorite Invincible character.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I think you should keep the name to yourself for now.
Okay. All right. Well, actually, I didn't want to talk about him, but I mean, we were. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about some of our some characters that we kind of want. A few characters that I wanted to talk about. Alan says that I'm obsessed with him, and I'm kind of right, and he's kind of right now. So, Ingstrom Levy,
Mm.
um, Conquest, Thrag, um,
Well, okay. Now here's the thing. Speaking of his name is pronounced Frag, right?
yeah,
Or Frog?
Thrag, right?
Frag. Okay. I mean, sometimes I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. Uh, okay, so Frag. Okay, I don't want to go deeper into that
Yeah.
because that's spoilerish discussion, but I don't think he will appear that soon.
Maybe not. I know we're probably gonna get Conquest.
Oh yeah. Okay, so the character that my friend is talking about is basically if you're not a comic book reader, then you will not know him. But if you are a comic book nerd, as much as us two are, as much as we are, there is a cameo in the Viltrumite backstory / explanation story where basically Omni Man was trying to explain that half of the population of Viltrumite was destroyed, was actually obliterated, and one of the few survivors, actually there are two survivors that you and I noticed, But there's one in specific. There's specifically one that you and I noticed, as Levi was your character that you're obsessed with. Mine is Conquest. And the cameo that I'm talking about is Conquest. When he like there, he's right there, like that one shot where you see him, which by the way looks like that's a shot of him before he lost his arm. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I will tell you this, like the like seeing that shot of Conquest, which was put there for a reason, which means that which means we could actually see him very soon.
Yeah, exactly. Who'd your casting be for him?
Oh,
your voice casting. We're gonna be doing a little bit of some casting.
Okay.
For a few characters that we want.
True. I will tell you this. For Conquest, like this is a casting that I've been searching for, like trying to do for a long time, and there was actually one guy. I mean, unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But I always imagined the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket voicing Conquest.
Yeah.
They always imagine Conquest as this kind of like very by the book, straight up, military guy, kind of like villain.
Yeah.
But since the guy is no longer with us, so I was trying to find other people who can voice him, because I always imagined that elderly actors to voice Conquest. But however, Kirkman actually one time said, before it was announced that the second and the third season are coming out, he did say, or more precisely mentioned, that he wants to bring more actors from The Walking Dead. So, if anyone out of all of them, if I want to choose one to voice Conquest, then it's going to be Negan himself, Jeffrey.
And that is mine.
Morgan. Like, I can definitely hear him voice Conquest. Definitely. There are other actors, older actors, that actually could fit for the voice of Conquest. But if I have to choose from the Walking Dead gang, it will be Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
And that's my choice too.
Because I think he will be perfect for the role. Now, Frog, that's a little bit challenging. Because for Frog, you and I actually had like a choice.
Yeah, we both had a mutual choice. I literally just came up with the character like right on the bat. Like, so I went with and this is both our choices now. We're both sharing the same choices as far as Conquest and Thrawn. I went with Ed Skrein, who played Ajax or Francis from the first Deadpool movie.
And who was also in Alita Battle Angel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, I will tell you this. The first time I saw the actor was actually in Game of Thrones. That was the first time I met him. Well, saw him.
He was in Game of Thrones?
Yep.
Wow.
He was in Game of Thrones. And that was the first time I saw him. Then, of course, the second time I saw him was, of course, in Deadpool. And, of course, the third time was, Alita Battle Angel, and alongside, many other different, roles that he had.
Yeah.
Even though most of them were villainous roles. But, with all the actors I know, Ed Skrein, for me, was always like one of the really good choices for Frog.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, Frog, for me personally, he needs to be an actor with a younger voice.
Yeah.
Person, because Conquest represents the kind of like the old time Viltrumites, like an old timer Viltrumite. But Frog is more like this kind of like a younger generation.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah,
he had Ed Skrein when I look at Throg, I immediately think of a like a very sophisticated, very like, I have jurisdiction over you. I'm the ruler. I am the dictator. Like that, and like Ed Scream just perfectly screams that.
Yeah. Also, there's another Viltrumite that I'm really curious to see her in Invincible, and that is Anissa. Because I'm not gonna say what it is, but there is one event that connects her and Mark, and comic book readers will know what I'm talking about. But non-comic book readers, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But there's one event that I'm really curious to see how Kirkman is gonna handle it.
Yeah,
leave that to yourself. Okay.
I'm not gonna say. I just said when I heard about it, not fun.
Not fun, but it's very. But it's done in a way that serves the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But I'm still curious how Kirkman will handle that.
Yeah.
Even though I do think that will not come very soon, because that was actually the time when where he had the black and blue costume. So I don't think we'll see that happen very soon.
I didn't see that yet, so it must be when he wore the costume again.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, there's so many things that are gonna happen. And a few of them, we saw them in the season 1 finale. With
Who would you want to cast her
as Anissa?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Me personally, I would go with Colby Smulders.
Really?
Yeah.
That Anissa for me was always a really good challenge. Like, who could voice, like, it needs to be someone who in the same time can be intimidating, soldier-like, but also in the same time insane.
Yeah.
Because she's really insane. Well, she has some insane moments, and one with Mark is one of them, definitely. So basically, because Anissa as a villain, she's very unstable. Anissa was always a very unstable character. So, that's a really good challenge. I have to think about it because I have like 6-7 choices, and 2 of them are like award-winning actresses. One of them is like, and I'll be honest, one of my choices, maybe people will say she doesn't fit, but one of my choices, she's like in her 50s.
Who is that?
I don't think she'll fit, but one of my first choices was Cate Blanchett.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but remembering the character, I don't, because I was trying to bring the Hela, Cate Blanchett, into Anissa, and something's missing.
Yeah, that is true.
I still have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then there are 3 other characters that I wanted to talk about. There are quite a few other characters, but we could talk about that when season 2 comes out. It's gonna be a while, but one of them, by the way, I'm not talking about. I'll save Armstrong for the last. Engström for the last.
Oh, sorry. Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
Okay. Actually, who I want to voice. Who I want to voice the one of the mechanical jaw Asian like mobster.
Who?
He was one of the founding members of the order.
Who?
James Hong.
Where was he from?
He let me. Oh, where can I start? Like, I know that he's wow. Like he has a very wide rank when it comes to voice acting.
Yeah.
But to try to see where did you saw him, because he appeared through a lot of like different genres, like when it comes to like live action or animation and all that. Like, oh yeah, to kind of give you two clues, he was in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, I know exactly who he is. I just didn't know the name.
He voiced Mr. Ping in Kung Fu Panda.
I know exactly who he is.
And I'm telling you, his voice will be perfect for that character, James Hong, for that gangster with the mechanical jaws.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I would definitely see James Hong like voicing him, even though maybe I don't think they'll take him, but personally, I would choose him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because even though like he appeared in a lot of like different movies, but I also really remember him through like the voiceover, roles that he had, because he had a lot of different voice roles.
Oh, same, definitely.
And can you imagine? He's 92.
Yeah, I just looked that up.
He's 92. I mean, like, and he's still like moving forward. Like, wow.
Yeah, exactly. Like bless him. Like props to him.
Okay, so with the exception of Angstrom, who are the other two?
Well, I know you didn't want me to talk about this one, but Oliver or Kid Omni-Man.
Oh boy.
Long story short, it's a little hard to describe him, but comes from like he's half other alien and he's the half brother of Mark Grayson, Invincible, and becomes like kind of like a more morally like an ambiguous character, and like and kind of has some conflict with Mark.
At first.
Yeah.
At
yeah,
first.
but I would actually cast two actors for it.
Who?
Okay, well, actually, kind of, I'm split on the older version of it, him, but for the younger one, and I think Mac. I heard rumors that Max Burkholder is going to play him, but I'm not exactly sure because I know he voiced John Hamm's son, the security guard. So I'm going with two actors. The first one is from Young Sheldon, and he actually voiced young Scooby, Ian Armitage.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can definitely see him being voiced by him.
Yeah. And then the second one, well, the older version, I was really going with Chandler Riggs, but I'm like Chandler Riggs, but I'm like, I'm not sure how he would be like. Plus, I heard he kind of retired from acting. So I'm actually going with Aidan Gallagher from the Umbrella Academy.
That's actually not a bad choice either.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like Armitage and Gallagher's voices would probably go together.
And who would you cast as Angstrom Levy?
Well, actually, I have one more choice.
Oh, okay.
Well, one more character. Bulletproof. And I originally was gonna put this character towards Levy, but I'm like, I think he would be better with like kind of like someone who has like more of a sass. And I wouldn't say that Bulletproof is comedic, but definitely he has that kind of that wit that I could see for this character. I would go with Donald Faison from Scrubs.
Really?
Yeah, we talked about him.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to imagine his voice with a character.
Yeah, I feel like he would go well Plus, I'm literally watching Scrubs right now, and I'm like, I want at least one of these actors in Invincible. And I feel like Donald Faison, and would this be a spoiler saying where his faith kind of lies? Like where he all right. Well, I'll just say that he does have a more of a important role coming up.
Fair enough. So we come to Angstrom Levy, your favorite character.
Well, actually, one of my top 3.
Fair enough.
Right.
I'm interested to see your voice choices for him.
All right, so I was actually kind of confused for my choice at first, but when I was listening to the Invincible podcast, I immediately like heard this voice. I'm like, and I love this actor so much. Like I fan cast him in a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So to hear him in this, I'm gonna go with Sterling K. Brown.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm impressed.
Thanks. Like he would do it too. I know he would.
Oh well, I can definitely see him. Like I mean, like he's not a very picky actor. So I think like he will actually accept this.
Yeah, I think he would too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he would probably have fun with it.
That I could believe.
Yeah.
Actually, wait a minute. You know the guy. You know the villain with the tentacles, the frightened tyrant or something.
Tether Tyrant.
Yeah, him. Did they already cast him? They already cast him, right?
I heard that he was casted by Reginald Bell Johnson, but I didn't really hear a voice for him. So, and I know you and I have a particular like choices that everybody else does. Before we end it off, Alan, is there any like other like castings or anything like that you got?
Look, trust me, there is a lot. Believe me, there is a lot of like casting that I want to do. When it comes to like characters, when it comes to either like characters or like which ones I want to see, the voice cast, like I'm without trying to repeat myself, like there's a lot. Trust me, there are a lot of characters, but the only reason why I don't want to mention them is because I don't want to
spoil the general story. I get it.
Yeah. Like because like through all the we went through like all the villains that you and I the first and foremost they already appeared in season 1, and also that we kind of talked about when it comes to the future of Invincible. Although there is one villain that I really cannot wait to see him, and I mentioned him before, but I'm still curious. I'm still not sure who should voice him. Dinosaurus.
Yeah.
Because I was really conflicted. Like, should he have a voice like this, or it should be like more like very kind of demonic dinosauric voice?
Yeah. Who would you say would go well with your first type of voice, like the voice like that, voice like this,
voice like this?
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have chosen one of the legends when it comes to voice acting, Frank Welker.
Okay, I'm in.
Because the way how he voiced Soundwave in Transformers, and also Dr. Claw in Inspector Gadget, and also not to mention the Cave of Wonders in Aladdin. Like the way how the character looks like, I always kind of depict them with with voice like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like this. Maybe they. I doubt that they will choose Frank Welker to voice him. But if I have to choose someone for now, it'll be him.
You know what'd be hilarious?
What?
If they literally got Welker, but they also got and the human version of Dinosaurus actually reminds me of Shaggy. What if they got Matthew Lillard and Frank Welker?
So you're talking about the guy who voices now Shaggy and Frank Welker.
Yes, like that would be amazing, right?
Yeah, in a very bizarre, rated R, scary way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my, that'll be really good. That'll be really amazing to see that. I can even see them, like doing it. But I don't think they'll choose them. I think they'll choose someone else. But
yeah, it's still a good idea though.
Yeah. It really is. I agree. I agree with you on that. Yeah. So besides that, we went through all of it.
Yeah.
Because seriously, I really don't want to spoil too much, to the audience, who are not familiar with the comic books.
Yeah, exactly. But I just wanted to give an outro. I just would like to say that we have been so excited to talk about this. Well, me in particular, because like I said, I've been yapping Alan's ear off about this for a while. And just the fact that we finally got it, the fact that it's just so gorgeous and just so beautiful, and just everything from its tone to its cast to its beautiful animation.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just telling you, I just would like to say thank you to Robert Kirkman, Cory Walker, Ryan Ottley, the crew, the cast, everybody. You guys did a fantastic job, and you guys deserve an Emmy. And I am so excited to see the next few seasons and to see what else, because this is going to be an innovation to the superhero genre. Because I hope we get more animated programming, not just from Image, but just from kind of superheroes in general, and because the animation genre deserves more praise.
Honestly, like I would love to see a brand new animated TV series about either Spawn or Savage Dragon.
I really want to get into Savage Dragon, so
it's a really cool comic book series. It's really cool, even though the premise is kind of very simple, but it's a really cool, comic book series. And so I would love to see an animated version of Savage Dragon and Spawn, and something that we've been craving for a long time. Give me a live action Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that on Amazon, because if you want rated R, hard rated R, especially for Spawn, Amazon Prime is for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that being said, thank you everybody for giving this for watching this. We really had fun talking about this. Hopefully that will be that will be more of a introduction to us. But anyways, please keep an eye out for future podcasts we do. We have this, we have the Pow Bang Podcast, as well as we have the McClunky Chit Chat, which is on the Perch network.
It's coming very soon.
Yeah. Coming very soon. Yeah, we plan on doing the Bad Batch, and a few other projects there and there. So keep updated. Follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and maybe a Twitter soon. Follow and subscribe to the Pop Perch Network, please. And follow Alan or Dr. Shadow at the Lord of Shadows. Subscribe to him on YouTube. Follow him on Twitter, Instagram, and you're on Facebook, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, as always, thank you for checking us out. I have been Captain Paddle.
Dr. Shadow.
And take care, everybody.